Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see what we do today. Let's have some fun at the same time. Got to do that. Always, 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 always. Okay. All right. Today, let's talk about some nonprofit stuff. One of the things that people don't realize about nonprofit, it doesn't mean you can't bring in $1 billion. It just means it has to be classified as nonprofit. So the ultimate goal is what do we do? So, nonprofit, you can build credit. Nonprofit, you get grant money. Nonprofit's kind of dangerous because a lot of people get this grant money and they kind of screw it up. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing today? So let's think about nonprofit type of corporation. But remember, we still got to be a CFO. We still got to be a chief financial officer. So again, it's a nonprofit structures. You want to get credit, but the dangerous thing about nonprofit is so much grant money to give out. You have all these different states, Minnesota, you have California, and a lot of crooks. So be careful because nonprofit literally can bring in. One client last week got $234,000 of nonprofit grant money. It's a lot of money, and they have to manage it right. So grant money is very important. But this person here, they didn't have a job at the time, so they did the nonprofit as they're looking for a new opportunity because they were laid off, let go, laid off or fired, whatever you want to call it. Based on that structure, what happened is they got that grant money. Now they can get themselves a paycheck. The problem you don't want to do is go crazy about it. In other words, $234,000, and that's a lot of money. So if we focus on the nonprofit of 234, what do you do with it? Number one, out of the 234, you have to realize that's $234,000. That's grant money. It came for 3 grants. Those 3 grants, I have to realize, equal what? Yes, they can get a paycheck, but they can't go crazy with it. So it's like anything else. Today, if you went for grant money, right, the main thing is you could obtain it. It's really not hard to do. Biggest thing you have to realize is one thing: you have to be careful. I say be careful because you don't want to be careless. Unfortunately, sometimes when people get money, they go a little crazy about it. Money's a tool, okay? So is credit. It's a tool to do something with it, do good about it. Unfortunately, a lot of people get money and they just, yeah, 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 go a little crazy. Thank you for all the loves and the hearts. So what happens is very simple. As we get money, we have to manage it. Even nonprofit can leverage money. The difference is it cannot be classified as profit. So the difference is a nonprofit corporations filed at state level, and that's important. Getting that, as they got their grant money at 234, it's $234,000 of grant money. You got to be careful. Like I said again, I'm saying it a million times because you can go crazy with it. In other words, you could actually waste it away and not invest it the way it needs to be done. Nonprofit has a foundation. Nonprofit's a nonprofit corporation at state. Then they got their federal exemption. And they got money. It's called grant money. You can get money from city, state, and federal government grant money all the time. But again, you have to do is actually be careful about it. Here's good morning, all of you. There's so many people scrolling. I'm sorry I can't address each one of you. If you have a question, ask the question. If I missed it, you can always basically let us know. You can leave a comment below. You can call the office later on in a couple hours. There's all kinds of ways to answer your question. I'm Ray Reynolds from the Ray Reynolds Blueprint Live. And this is what it is today. Ultimate goal is how we want to play. The main topic today, we want to talk about the nonprofit organization because between now and the next 60 days, 90 days, if you got aggressive, you could bring the money in, but you have to have a cause. Remember, nonprofit again, because that's one client, about $234,000. That's good. Get a lot of clients, 50,000, 100,000, whatever. I always tell people, always please be careful. See, nonprofit can bring in a lot of money. You can get all kinds of money all over the place. Be careful about it because what happens is, what are you going to do with the money? If we focus on nonprofit today, for instance, as clients got 234, their goal is they're now kind of scared. They're kind of panicking. Ray, you say you have to be careful. You have to be careful all the time. All right. So what do you have to do? Position. Okay. In other words, they have their nonprofit organization. They got their 501c3. Remember, the IRS backdates the IRS 501c3. So let's say today we structured a nonprofit organization. And it's basically that state filing. State files your nonprofit. That's a corporation. Then you go over to the IRS in 1023 form. That's irs.gov again. And what happens is you apply for a nonprofit status. So they give you a 501c3 exemption. Usually 501's is standard. Some people get the 508, they want a church and all kinds of stuff. And I always find that churches are hard to get the exemption. state versus church, and like the government doesn't want churches anymore. Oh yeah, feel that the government thinks people are hiding money. Well, the churches don't disclose their money, so that's what happens. A lot of churches have a lot of money. That's why you see this controversy about mega churches. All right, and then the call and the pastor what he's driving, things like that. So I would recommend not having a church. But again, what's the goal? The goal. What division do you want to sponsor to do something? For instance, these people here, one of the husband and wife, one's in the medical field. I said, well, let's do a hospice house, hospice care. The problem is controversy now because you have Minnesota, you have California, all these people ripping people off. Again, they got $234,000 of grant money from 3 grants, which is good. Remember, you can get city, federal, and state grants all the time, but you need to make sure it's like you put it in trust. For instance, I trusted you to do something. What does that mean? Don't just go buy a Ferrari and Lamborghini. Okay, nobody should ever do that anyway, unless you have too much money and you just want to basically do what needs to be done. Maybe a marketing tool because you do seminars, workshops, and boot camps like I always did. And that's why I always had the cars because not only I liked the cars, but it also was a marketing tool, showing people what they can obtain. So from here, what do? Understand this is the Ravenous Blueprint Live. Got to give you a disclaimer. It's educational content only. Okay, not legal or financial advice. Results may vary. You see, the average grant money right now is about $55,000 to maybe $100,000. They went after multiple grants. They're really aggressive. So what they did is they actually took their nonprofit once they got the exemption, and they qualified in multiple states, which you can all do. So that their current grant money is $234,000. Now one of them was out of a job too. So guess what? They can give themselves a paycheck. The biggest mistake they would do is give themselves a paycheck more than they ever made. Got it so far? So it's like the balance of that money in the grant. So you could actually, replace your income or enhance it. And what they're going to do is basically structure so they get a paycheck, what they were used to just paying their bills. And that's the goal. It's like anything that we do today. We should think about our paycheck should be what it is to break even. See, to be rich and famous, the reality is that's not going to happen to most people. But if you structure it right, you can bring in the money. The difference is what you're trying to do with money. Bottom line is corporations do all kinds of stuff. When applying for a grant, how much should apply for? Well, the bottom line is on the 1023 form, when you get accepted, the difference is that grant money can be based on the grant you're going after. For instance, in California, they have literally this list, and then grant money, you go to grants.gov. California has a portal and you can pick what type of grant you want. Is it education? Is it like hospice, elderly care, transportation? So those things you gotta look at. So good morning, all of you. So what happens is again, the average grant money for nonprofit currently is at $55,000 to $100,000 in between that, which is good. They're not going to try to hand you too much money. But also remember, grants a lot of times are monthly. Okay, monthly grants. Out of their $234,000 grants, one of those is a monthly grant, but they have to sponsor something. In other words, voucher money. Your government will give you voucher money too. So it depends how you structure. So if we look at grants, what we want to do for like a nonprofit, you still got to be the CFO. You got to go back to basics. So if today's topic is grants, we follow at the state level. We get a corporation, whatever we call. Hopefully, it's neutral. You name it very neutral because that's what you should do. XYZ, whatever. It's like when I did Helping Hand Industries. I did Giving Days Foundation, things like this. These are neutral names. It's like the Red Cross, things like this people do. Kids, cars for kids. You kind of know that's car for kids. But again, those people in that commercial, they're probably 50 years old. Those commercials were done 40 years ago. Again, they haven't redone commercials in a long time. But again, some people in nonprofit get in trouble because in California, a lot of people basically, in the 70s and 80s and 90s got money. They didn't do anything with it. It's like the Jewish Foundation got in trouble because what did they do? You donate your car. The reality is only 3% of the money went to the foundation. The rest they put in their pockets. So those are the things you don't want to do. Okay, does type of nonprofit matter? Or there's something nonprofit that are better than others? Well, the nonprofit should be set up for you to offset your taxes in your organization you have already. But if that's your primary thing for nonprofit, I would do something about it in the care business. In other words, we got to realize we're living longer. Elderly care is very important to all of us because we're all going to live longer. We're getting older, slower, not as pretty as it used to be. So I'd say the nonprofit I'd make sure I have my nonprofit, set up, neutral name, very neutral, name it after yourself, unless it's a foundation. Two of our clients actually named their nonprofit after their children. One had special needs, the other one passed away. So they did it as basically like, kind of a foundation on the behalf of a person. It's like the woman who created MAD, okay? Mothers Against Drunk Driving. There's a cause for that. So again, what do you look at? So if we look at nonprofit to actually enhance a paycheck or to replace one, you could do that. But then you have to look at that money being very careful. Again, they got 234,000. One of those is actually a monthly grant coming in on a monthly base. So certain grants, as you asked the question, could be monthly or it could be one time, depends what it's going to be. But again, grant money is important because you have to be very careful. Nonprofit's a great organization. But what you don't want to do is get the money and kind of just give yourself a big paycheck. No. Unfortunately, Minnesota and California, they actually have this guy Nick out there looking at things, and he's calling people out, and that's what's happening. So good morning, all of you, and had some fun. So the main things like today, nonprofits kind of a topic. Again, if you did the nonprofit organization, again, neutral name, please, please. Okay, I'm a nurse. Well, that would be, what you want to think hospice care, elderly care. That would be important to do as well. I mean, if you had that nonprofit organization set up correctly, I would have my 9 divisions and minimum to 18. Why? Because it depends how aggressive you want to be. I mean, do you want to do nonprofit to help your city a little bit and your kids around you, or do you want to make a big difference? See, it's based on the focus. It's like Linda, who's been a client since 1987. I did a program called Eagle's Nest in 1987. We actually created over 1,200 nonprofit organizations worldwide. And that's why Eagles Nest did. We help people get grant money. But again, we had right purposes. When Dr. Lucky and I did the hospital in Fiji Islands, kids were dying of gum disease. No one paid attention to us until I got Arnold on the board. Arnold got on the board and everybody, hey, there's Arnold, okay? All right, I'll be back. All right, good stuff. But again, it depends what you're trying to do with it. So again, nonprofit, there's grant money. All right, just be careful you position right. Okay, I watch clients get 55,000. That's okay. Our monthly, like Linda, she gets voucher money every month. She's one of the nonprofits, one of the largest in California, who does for homeless and everything else. And the government's trusted her for 30 years, and she gets $230 million of grant money all the time, helping people. So again, position yourself right for the nonprofit. Again, it's grant money. Be careful. Again, like I said, positioning. If I have a nonprofit organization, I want my divisions because, again, the neutral business. I mean, the Red Cross, believe it or not, has over 600 different type of businesses under the Red Cross. Okay, they have actually a division that actually rescues things. Okay, they deliver food, they have planes and everything else, or they're doing any time. So again, the nonprofit can be how big you want it to be. What is your vision? What is your dream? If it's local city, that's great, fantastic, no problem. We did the hospital in Fiji Islands just because kids were dying of gum disease. That's for the hospital. That's what we did there. And there's other things we did for outreach and feed the kids and people that are starving. I mean, I always realize one thing for me, the more you give, the more you get. In other words, if I can keep helping, that was the ultimate goal for me. So again, if we look at nonprofit organization, please be careful. Like I said, grant money's great, but don't give yourself a big raise. Okay, I'm just talking about the one recently from last week, and we help people get grant money all the time, state, federal, government, and again, city. It's like nonprofit. If I have a division for nonprofit and one person's, Chrissy's a nurse, fantastic. What happens is here, we get a house, a good hospice. You could actually go to the city and find out exactly being recognized by the city for a nonprofit organization in your divisions or entities. You could have them actually, sponsor you. City will give you a piece of land. They'll give you a building. They'll give you a house. I mean, and basically Portugal, California, I've helped over 400 houses be given to the nonprofit in the last 50 years. They position these houses because the houses are like, yeah, crap, or they were a tax problem, or they were tax repossessed, or a city repossessed the property. I mean, if I'm going to get very aggressive with, like I've told this one client, they received their 234 last week. And 2 of those are grants for one time. One is a monthly base. So you have to make sure as it's coming in monthly, they don't waste it. Positioning, bookkeeping. In other words, you get your bookkeeping in place. You have your nonprofit. You have literally your, say it's 18 divisions. They have 18 divisions to a nonprofit. Do you need that many? No. Could you do a nonprofit with three? Yes. But again, there's positioning in the nonprofit. What's it going to do? The reason you want positions or nonprofit or even divisions for profit, nonprofit, you want to separate kind of liability. Unfortunately, and profit or nonprofit, there's a lot of people that sue people for no reason. It's not nice, but it happens. So if we went after grant money today, for instance, for you, if I position it right, you position yourself, what it is, nonprofit is filed at state level, which is very simple, state level. California, I filed a nonprofit. I did my first one as a kid. When I did Helping Hand Industries, I didn't know what I was doing. Kind of like most of you. Sorry to say you don't know what you're doing. You've actually paid people to do something for you, and they've disappointed you in most cases. And what happens is you get stuck. You know, some of you, it's like one of the people here, Mark here, he has 6 LLCs in multiple states. Why did he do that? Why did he spend $6,000 on a bunch of crap? He doesn't need it, but he did. So again, he's talking, what do I do now? Call the people you got the corporations from. So I give them for free. Oh, it's half free, free, free. You pay your filing fee, go to class, you learn how to play the game. Nonprofit structure. Okay. So today's topic is very simple: getting grant money. All right, like this one couple got their $234,000 last week. 2 grants or one time. 1 grant is a monthly base. So they have to get to work. In other words, I wish that cities would inspect. In other words, when you watch these people out there in these cities in Minnesota, California, in hospice care, no one inspected the buildings. They're supposed to. See, they were supposed to inspect the door. Or is it accessible for a wheelchair? Is it accessible for bed? Thank you for joining the fan club. I love that stuff. Okay. And this is my 21st week on TikTok and social media. I mean, it was pretty easy for 50 years writing checks for millions and millions of dollars, radio and TV. I'm nationwide on Sirius Radio and all kinds of stuff. So again, that's what I've done. It was easier that way. This is kind of like, this is unique. In other words, I had to get used to this. Why? Not just talking to people, but get used to the wrong information. They allow so much garbage out there, it's ridiculous. But again, that's what they do. So if we position ourselves today, I would say you want a profit corporation and a nonprofit in position. You'd want to know what needs to be done. See, nonprofit can offset your profit corporation because you want to pay what? Nonprofit versus pay tax. Every rich and famous person I've ever incorporated have a nonprofit. They have a foundation. Most of them want foundation status because they can help more people. You watch Shaq go out there and give money away all the time. He's a great guy. You watch all the people like they're kind of jerks. The reality is very simple. Do we want to help people or do we want to be jerks? Again, it just depends. See, if if you're a nice person with money, you're a nicer person. If you're kind of a jerk and have no money, or when you get money, you're bigger. You know what? Unfortunately, it's not nice, but it's true. So, if we position a profit corporation today and a nonprofit simultaneously, now the thing about the IRS will do for you, they'll actually backdate your exemption. So let's say you had a nonprofit from last year. Last year you got a nonprofit, and then you filed the exemption this year. They're going to backdate that from last year. See, a lot of times a grant needs to be done. You've been in business for more than a day. See, they want to make sure you've been in business for like up to your first year or second year. So grant money might not be something for anyone here because you're doing it because you're new. But if you did it and you structured it right, you could have grant money from last year because you incorporated last year or in 2025. The next thing you position yourself doing the 1023. 1023 is an easy form. It's, we can send a link as well if you want an exemption. It's in our link below. You can do the 1023 form. Get your exemption. Which is me. If you got the federal exemption, there's two things. First, you got state filing corp, and you got your position, you get your bank account, you get your divisions, no problem. And then you go over here and get your nonprofit status. That's irs.gov. irs.gov 1023 form 501c3 exemption. I'm not here to be an attorney, but I'll teach you how to focus on this and get some grant money. If you need a paycheck, go work for a nonprofit, have a good cause, do good with it, okay? Sometimes it's harder to find a job than it is getting a paycheck. Again, we can find a way to have some good. I mean, if you could do good and you could get a grant money, get a paycheck, but again, that paycheck should be what you've been making and not just jack it up. Well, that's very important. I mean, I've watched some not so great people get grant money, give themselves a big paycheck and screw it all up. That's what you see on TV right now, basically, or even social media, Minnesota and California. So again, if you had grant money positioned correctly, And that's why I'm going to just warn you again, again, again to do it right. All right, they got 234. That's 234,000 in their bank account. That's grant money. So what happens very simple is two of those grants are one-time grants. The other one is a monthly grant. So they have to be careful because that money can add up to their account. And all of a sudden, you look at all this money. Say, ay, look at the money. Look at the money. No, no, no. Positioning. Okay. One of the things I have them doing is they're going to their city or cities and register and find out if their city has anything that they need to be done. In other words, if you say, hey, city, you have any land, building, all right, house, you want me to help fix up? I can do that and have a nonprofit. I've got grant money. See, if you had hospice set up, there's more people to put in those positions than anything. Unfortunately, you got to be real. You can't be this phony companies that ripping people off for millions of dollars. That's wrong. You watch this guy on, social media going, I think his name is Nick, and he's calling out Minnesota and basically California. But again, what happens? A real nonprofit can make a difference. A real nonprofit, you can answer your paycheck. No, you can give yourself an equal paycheck. Okay, if you had it, you lost your job kind of situation. If not, then you keep your job, you do the nonprofit, and you create more things, and you don't get a paycheck. Very simple. It's going to be up to you how you position it. But nonprofit should have its 3 divisions minimum up to 18. How aggressive you want to be? See, being aggressive for profit or nonprofit just depends on you. If you want to be very aggressive, that's what you have to think about. Do I want to have a hospice care house? Okay, there's like one person here, she's a nurse, fantastic. Hospice can be set up. That house is a division. See, we still got to realize liability. Unfortunately, in this world, a lot of people like to sue people for no reason. It kind of sucks. So what happens is in the nonprofit organization, neutral name has division process. If we had a division for hospice care, first we get that house. How do we get the house? Maybe it's donated, maybe it's city, maybe it's auction, maybe basically we just finance it and get it through the corporation nonprofit. Where's that house going to be at? Next thing is we want to be classified as, hospice care. Okay. I want to go to the city and get classification and get inspected. I want inspecting so they look at the doors, they look at the windows and what needs to be done. Because that hospice house could actually have food delivery, transportation. Under the Transportation Act, it's more grant money, but again, how do you want to get a van? So every position has another position if you wanted to do that. So thank you for the loves and what you do today and all the things you do for the likes and everything. That's and the hearts and the roses. So if we had a nonprofit organization, all right, we're going to think about our division process, again, grant money, but be careful, like I said before, because you get money, it's not that hard to get the money. Okay. It's really not that hard to get the money. Well, the hard thing is you don't kind of mess it up. So if we position correctly under the nonprofit division process, what we want to do is divisions, bank account, exemption, all right, grant money, city, state, and federal grant money, and we want to get inspected. If it's a hospice care house, we can get properties. That's not a problem. But then we want to have that house inspected, or what's the requirements? See, a hospice care is supposed to be a house or a fourplex or an apartment complex, not a building. A building, that's for daycare. Again, there is, grants for daycare too, but I'd rather have a position, not just for daycare, because that's what I see on this, the social media stuff, all this bad money and all this people ripping people off. So I would want positioning. Okay, let's say I have a house, and that's my first model. The first house is going to be inspected by the city, or you get the doors, everything else, and the right contractor to do this. Cities have contractors that are approved for nonprofit. So again, what happens? So if we had a nonprofit organization, we realize on one thing, we still need credit. We need nonprofit credit. Yeah, we do. Because why? You might need a Home Depot card, a Lowe's card, or under the nonprofit or the division, because what that does is allows you to fix up properties. You don't, you want to use your grant money, but guess what? If you use all the grant money to fix up the property, you can be out of money. And some nonprofits run out of money. That's not a good thing. So if we had a credit file for each division or corporation, that would make sense because you can finance itself. See, nonprofit doesn't mean you can't bring in $100 million, but again, it means one thing: it's classified as nonprofit. Again, you're not there to get rich. Okay, corporations or maybe they get rich. That's fine. But again, as we look at this process, the goal would be as we position. But let's go back to basics. Foundation. If I have profit and nonprofit working in conjunction, that would make sense. I like that. Thank you for the loves and all the goodies. I really appreciate that. This is now 21 weeks now on social media, and that means TikTok and all the other things as well. And I love that because it's new to me. So today, if I position you, for instance, you, every one of you, if you're a CFO for profit nonprofit, that is a chief financial officer. CFO, that's what we have to be. We have no choice. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, all the other people. Sorry, it's scrolling pretty fast. So if I'm a CFO for my personal life and I'm CFO for a profit and nonprofit, I have to be careful because I don't want a bunch of inquiries and messing it all up. Nonprofit can get sponsored money as it does all the time. So again, we don't have to go crazy with that. In other words, nonprofit, you definitely want your Dun and Bradstreet if you're fixing up properties because Dun and Bradstreet is supply and vendor credit. But again, as we structure this correctly, what do we do? First thing, we have to go back to you. Now that we've talked about profit, nonprofit a little bit, let's think about you right now today. Okay. If we're going to build foundation, you're the CFO. All right. No matter if it's profit, nonprofit, you're the CFO. You are the chief financial officer and you filled out a form or mommy did. And I'm going to always go back to basics. Basics are simple. Basics. If I get a paycheck from profit or nonprofit, paycheck, it's going to be taxed before I get my check. So again, what do? If I work for someone else, they tax my paycheck, I get a leftover. So we have to understand leftover. What does that mean? We have an SS5 form with the IRS. It's on file. So the IRS has this form on file because we agreed to do this. We did this as a child, or at 14, or mommy did it for us at the hospital. When President Nixon took the gold standard out in 71, in August 71, every woman at the hospital is mandated to fill out the SS5 form. So if we get a paycheck from a company we work for, or profit or nonprofit, it's taxed no matter what we do. Unfortunately, you got a lot of BS out there, and five LLCs are the sense. Sorry. I don't think you need five LLCs. Okay. I think you need to position yourself for long term. Long term is understanding what you're trying to accomplish in your goal. Profit, nonprofit, paycheck. If I was you, I'd write down profit, nonprofit, paycheck on your piece of paper and your tablet. I work for someone else, I get a paycheck, I'm taxed. If I have a nonprofit, I get a paycheck, I'm taxed. If I get a basic corporation profit, I'm taxed. So everywhere we're taxed. How do we get our money back? We have to understand something. The paycheck, no matter if it's profit, nonprofit, or your paycheck you work for someone else, is going to be taxed. That paycheck is taxed, you get the leftover because you agreed to it. You did or your mommy did at the hospital. Someone agreed to it. If the SSN, all right, to me, it's like, okay, we get one number, we get one chance to try. As long as you're trying, we're not dying. But the reality is simple. How do we position ourselves that we get our money back on a paycheck? You have three categories today, three categories. Paycheck, you work for someone else. Paycheck profit, paycheck nonprofit. Where did your paycheck come from? No matter what. Now, I know they're going to say five LLCs and all this stuff, and I call it silly stuff out there. These people that are amateur coaches or whatever you want to call them. Paycheck. I'm going to pick an S corporation because it's as clean as can be. The S corporation is the cleanest thing you could ever do because you and the corporation file one tax return. I want simple, I want long term. Okay, the LLC is a limited liability corporation or company. Remember, the LLC was created off the sole proprietor. Sole proprietor became LLC. Then all these people out there say, 15.3% tax unemployment because it's true. That is true. That's the tax. It's public record. But again, they tell, have your kids, your wife work there. Stop. This is stuff, to me, it's silly. I want long term. I don't want a bunch of hooey. I want long term organization, profit, nonprofit, paycheck. Paycheck from the company you work for, paycheck from profit or nonprofit. I want you to understand paycheck is what you have to do. The IRS watches everything we do, everything. Everything is tracked. So if I have my LLC making money, I have my 18 divisions, that makes sense. I want a paycheck. I want the LLC to be converted to S. It's simple. The S corporation is the most simple thing to do and understand. That's how you get your paycheck. How do you get your money back? You have a house payment. Simple. We have to realize something. Every one of you have to recycle your paycheck. It's taxed. Once again, three categories. I want to say it again and again so you get through your head. You get a paycheck because you work for somebody. You get a paycheck, you have a nonprofit, or you have a profit corporation. Okay, convert your LLC to S corp. Yes, when you make money, only when you make money. Don't change anything you're doing today till you start making money. So if we position ourselves as a what CFO, Chief Financial Officer, we work somewhere, we have a profit company, we have a nonprofit. There's our three categories. We will get a paycheck, or a paycheck was taxed. If you have a house payment, this is where I don't understand some of these silly people out there. Don't buy a house. Excuse me, you want me to pay someone else's rent so they make them rich. If I pay $3,000 a month for a rent payment, they're being rich. I don't get nothing. What, renter's insurance? Come on. If my house payment can be the same $3,000, that's 24 years of interest. 24 years. I get my money back on my paycheck. So that's what happens. So it's called recycling money. So no matter if you get a paycheck from where you work or profit or nonprofit, again, if you get a paycheck, your goal should be your paycheck should be what your bills cost. See, if we took our bills today and look at all the money we need to pay our bills, let's look at the money to break even first, because you don't really want to be rich. None of you really want to be rich. Okay, if you're rich, you pay more tax. Would you like your corporation to have benefits for you, profit, nonprofit, and let the corporation be rich, or offset taxes with a nonprofit? See, that's the category you should be thinking about long term. Paycheck should be your lifestyle. If you want to enhance your lifestyle, your paycheck goes up, so does your house payment. So your house payment offsets taxes. So we balance things called tax balancing. Once again, I'm not here to be an attorney. All right, there are all these. I'd like to show you how to position yourself right. If you want to make a $50,000 a day, you could. But why would you do that? I got to the point the corporation did $1 million a day. That makes sense. But it wasn't my money. I don't want any money. I want a paycheck maybe, but I don't need one. I've had a paycheck for 40 years plus. Why would I want a paycheck? Why would I want a paycheck? Okay. If you have an S corporation, you structured right because you're offsetting taxes and you're breaking even with your bills. If you want to get a bigger paycheck, then your house payment goes up. You balance the debt. Debt offsets taxes. So if we position ourselves correctly, we all file a tax return. All right, we're all the same in some ways. We have to file a 1040 tax return. We have no choice. Is it a K1 and an S corp? Okay, let's understand something. You will file tax returns the rest of your life. Period. You have no choice. Tax return filed based on paycheck, house payment, or recycles money, then I break even. Then I can look at my paycheck. You see, you have to plan your structure. Without that, you don't get what you want. Structure builds finance and dreams. So if we're looking at a paycheck, and that's what you want is a big paycheck, okay, stop looking at that paycheck first. Let's look at how we have to offset taxes. Taxes are offset by paycheck and what you're trying to do. The only way a consumer really can offset paycheck is house payment. It's called recycling money, in my opinion. We recycle money. What do we do? Later on today, you might want to call the office. You could do that as well. Okay, very simple as we do this. Let's have some fun. All right, it is 3:51 in the morning. Okay, 3:51. So we get to play the game as we play this game to win. So again, I have 3:51 on the watch. Now, you will watch the fact that you cannot write off a Rolex. You cannot write off the haircut. You cannot write off the chef. You cannot write off the wedding. I mean, I don't see, I mean, sorry, I don't see someone silly. It's ridiculous. Okay, I watched this one guy the other day. It's like, Carlton, what, I've never heard someone's hooey in my life. It's 3:51, you think, okay? So your time zone's different than mine. You're probably in Eastern time. Again, I'm in Pacific Standard Time. So again, if we look at paycheck, all right, can you apply grants? Yes. All right, if I have my own on my own, of course you can. You want to do it on your own anyway. Why would you hire a grant writer? You don't need to do that nowadays. Nowadays, we have three positions of paycheck. Let's understand something. I don't want you to be rich. I want you to run rich corporations. Rich corporations. I don't want you to be rich. I want rich corporations. I want you to have a paycheck. Your paycheck is off by your house payment. Your paycheck needs to be bigger because you want bigger. You have bigger dreams. Then increase your house payment. All right, how you doing, Black Kenfo? How you doing? Client for many years. You're so family so well. So later on today, you can call the office 800-254-9506. This is how you talk to one of the specialists. But remember, the specialist is going to probably ask you 10 questions. Be prepared for the 10 questions. That would be the goal as we do this. Today, we still got to look at our personal credit. We have to be a CFO for ourselves and the corporations, profit, nonprofit. We have to look at our personal credit. So can you explain divisions in your companies and create the work? Yes, I will, if you let me get through this process. Okay. Now, if I have profit and nonprofit, okay, I'm having divisions because I get to multiply credit. I get to multiply functions. Functions. When a person names their LLC after themselves, that's silly. They name what it does, that's even sillier. And if it actually does business, that's really silly. Okay? So it's like, are you nuts? It just really makes no sense. You see, what you need to do is name something neutral. Your LLC, your LLP, your C Corp, your nonprofit PC should not do business. It should own businesses. You're trying to reinvent the wheel, which makes no sense. Why would you try to let your parent company do business and no one on this planet ever did that? No one does this. It doesn't matter if it's Bezos, Musk, Warren Buffett, whatever it is, or Zuckerberg, they own companies. Owning companies is how you get to where you want to go. Again, what you want to do is you're doing something that's never been done before. It's never been done that your LLC does business without it having a problem. If they sue you. Again, it should own businesses. It doesn't matter if it's LLP, C Corp, nonprofit, PC, or these six types of categories. It's very simple. We have to be careful because if they get sued, they sue your spouse. See, the problem we have today, 60% of marriages and divorce, up to 60% have problems. Sometimes they stay in the marriage. But again, 47% of those people started a business, brought the pain home. Every man tried to do something good for the family, and I'm sorry, it came back to bite him, and it bit him in the tush. Why? Because he didn't structure right. If we don't structure finance and dream, we're not going to make it. That's the biggest problem you have with all of you. You have to realize structure, finance, and dream is what works. Because like right now, you scroll through the internet, all these people scrolling, wasting time. You're listening to "Don't Buy a House," "Tell Me the Water," "F your grandma." I've never seen so much crap in my life. But again, I had to get used to that. This is my 21 weeks on TikTok and social media. Again, you have to position right. It's like you see this all this about credit repair stuff. It's ridiculous. Credit repair is against federal law. It's against federal law. They indicted Daniel, the credit repair cloud, the largest one out there. $3 million fine, put him in prison probably. Okay, they indicted the guy. They're going to knock on these people's door and say, "Hey, you're going to do credit repair, fantastic. Did you realize the federal law says it's against the law? You can't collect money up front. You're supposed to be nonprofit, or you're supposed to be registered at the Attorney General's office and not collect money up front and do the work first. These people are ridiculous." So a nonprofit profit corporation and you have the way to structure yourself. So if you need help about your personal credit, do yourself a favor. It's a free download in the link below. It's called Winning the Credit Game. Next thing you have, basically starting it right as we did for the kids. I've written 67 books to help people. If I'm a CFO for profit and nonprofit, can I get paycheck from both? Yes, but why would you? Why would you? Okay. I mean, how much of a paycheck do you want? And again, this is what you have to realize. You have two sources getting your paycheck. They're taxing you and you're getting the leftover anyway. Why don't we just figure out what paycheck you need to break even, recycle your paycheck, let the companies grow, and decide to increase your paycheck? Why don't we increase paycheck based on lifestyle you choose to live by? See, you have to realize you have to design your lifestyle. All this scrolling is a waste of time for people. Okay, it's very simple. Waste of time. I don't get it. So again, it's like we have winning the credit game. Okay, this is what it looks like when you download it. Simple. Why? These are backwards. I'm sorry, these are not. So again, it's like starting a rap for the kids. I mean, you got to realize me. They gave me the nickname of KNX Radio, the Godfather credit. I built $60 billion of credit in the last 50 years. 60 billion. Okay, because it's fun. 60 billion. Okay, for my clients and myself. It's like my books back then and all the books, you'd see I reached my goals. It's the highest kick on planet Earth. It's only 13 feet. Jumping king out the light. One of the Lamborghini collections, one of the mansions, one of the yachts. So I created basically for me a billionaire structure at 21 years old. 2.6 billion 26, 3.7 billion 20 or 2009. So I've been creating millions and billions of dollars. I got to a point I realized I don't need a paycheck. See, why would I want a paycheck? It's taxed. If you have everything you want in your life, everything, and you want to go get something, you can go get it. Why don't you do that? See, you have to really design yourself a lifestyle and dream. It's up to you. There's no reason to ever. I want $1 million paycheck. No, you don't. All these people that have $1 million paychecks, rich, famous, whatever. You look at what tax they have to pay. What are you looking for you? Are you going to be rich and famous? Very simple. Are you going to be rich and famous? Probably not. Would you like to have everything you ever wanted? Would you like peace of mind? Would you like peace of mind? Would you like to feel, oh, hey, we're okay, we're okay. All right, we want to go on a business trip. We're going to go on vacation. We want to do something, okay? Do we want to do something for ourselves? It's very simple as we play this game. I don't need a co-host, okay? All right, so no thanks. And maybe later on in the podcast, you can do that. Well, understand. Do you want to be rich? Everybody says yes. The reality is, are you going to be rich? No. I'm sorry, I don't want to burst your bubble. None of you are really going to be rich and famous, but I think you should have a paycheck. I think you should have everything you want, everything you want. Would that be okay if I design your life for you with you? You have everything you want, and you have your house you live, you have your company car, you have everything you want, you have peace of mind. What about peace of mind? If I was to give you peace of mind, would that be okay with you? Because less than 1.5% get rich and famous. And they don't say rich and famous, they go broke. Most rich and famous people go broke. Do you understand that? So if you wanted to structure yourself correctly, we have to be a CFO for ourselves, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, for the corporation, profit, and nonprofit. You have to be a triple CFO if you're doing nonprofit. Triple CFO. How's that? It's not just a double CFO. But it would be okay if I structure you to get you your paycheck that you want your lifestyle, what house you want to live in. Would that be okay? All your bills are paid. All your bills are paid. You have the lifestyle you've ever wanted. And if you want something, you can go get it no matter what you do. And you can increase your lifestyle based on income to offset the taxes every step. Would that be okay? I help you do that. I don't want you to be rich. I'm not rich. I might control millions and billions of dollars, but I'm not rich. I've never wanted to be rich. Okay, I'm not silly enough to be rich. Okay, I'm still going to have millions of dollars of credit. I have 1,200 cards just here just to play with to show you as an example. But I don't want to be rich. I'm a puppet master. If you listen and learn from yourself to be what? Put your credit back on track. Every one of you need a 650, no, need 750. Every one of you got to be serious. It's about time you're serious. I mean, come on. You have fell down, gentlemen, so many times trying to do it right. Your way didn't work. Sorry, your way didn't work. You brought the pain home to your family, and then basically what? Upset your wife. See, your wife's your queen. But if you put your structure right, if I did structure, that's CFO personal, CFO profit, and nonprofit. That foundation gives you a paycheck of whatever you want. If you want a paycheck of 200,000 a year, okay, I better have a good house payment to offset the taxes. But do I need that money? Understand, if I dissect that money, do I need that money or do I buy a company car? You see, certain things you pay for today, you're paying for things out of taxable paycheck. Your paycheck's taxed, you get the leftover, but certain things you pay for today could be an expense for the corporation, an expense. You could restructure your life if you wanted to. Structure, finance, and dream. So again, I'd say put your credit back on track. I'd tell you if you want profit, nonprofit. For instance, today, okay, when I created the Millionaires Founders Kit, okay, I was at the Bonaventure every Wednesday for 32 years. So here we have Tuesday, Ontario, Wednesday, Bonaventure, Thursday, Ontario, and from there in Long Beach, all right, Saturdays. Book 12 is nonprofit. Book 12 helps you get grant money. Book 12 lights up the whole thing, and you're not buying the book. This is ridiculous. Okay? It's like I've written 67 books in my life so far. If you focused on the book, all right, for the 12, that's nonprofit. If you don't have the Millionaires Founders Kit, you're not going to have profit and nonprofit building your foundation and dream. You're not getting the paycheck you want. You blew it. You go to class without a book. I don't understand that. So again, I sold this for 5,000 a set. 5,000 a set. Okay. It's in the link below for 500 bucks. It's a giveaway, but it's going to help you also go to class as well if you want profit and nonprofit, if you want to get your paycheck. See, the reason I designed the system for Millionaires Founders Kit and the blueprint of success, it's called the blueprint of success. I want your paycheck to be your write-off base. I don't want you to pay too much tax. I want your money back. My paycheck's taxed. I have a house payment. I recycle it for 24 years, interest. I get my money back in my tax return. That's called tax balancing. That's recycling paycheck. Your problem is you don't have the product to get the services. You have wasted so much money on stuff that didn't work. You've kind of wasted money and spent thousands of dollars on crap when all you had to do is get a hold of me. I'll give you a foundation. My client got 234,000 last week on grant money. Two are only one-time grants. One is a monthly base. That grant money gives them the foundation. They actually used the book. They used the nonprofit book with profit nonprofit, and this is what they did. Unfortunately, that you're not doing this because you want you want to go scroll. You don't slow it down enough to understand structure builds finance and dreams. If we had the structure today, finance and the dream, what does that mean? You get a paycheck. Do you not want common sense? Do you want to know you feel okay? How many want to feel just, hey, we're okay, honey. Hey, we're okay. Our bills are paid. We got leftover. We got the investment. We're doing all these pieces and we're offsetting our taxes. We're okay. We're building legacy time for long term legacy. This is where none of you do this. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't understand because you could get 234,000 of grant money like the client did last week. You could get 50,000 to 100,000 of grant money all the time, grant money. But again, you have to work in conjunction. What does that mean? I have to be a CFO. I have to be a CFO. I have to be a chief financial officer, personally, me, for my family. I got to make sure we're okay. Then I have to be for the profit corporation and the nonprofit. So I have to stop scrolling the internet and go all day long, real foundation. I do classes on Saturday all the time for 50 years for a reason. I'm trying to get you to pay attention about foundation structure and everything you're doing. Again, what do we have to do? So if you don't get this here, you're going to mess out. This helped these people get $234,000 of grant money. But again, I say be careful, please. What does be careful mean? They have their paycheck, one lost a job. They're going to go work for the nonprofit. They got grant money. And again, two of those are once a month, one time. The other one's a monthly grant. So what happens? Positioning. We have to make sure they get a paycheck, but they can't make a paycheck more than they ever made before. Love salary classes. Well, that's good. I'm glad you love those classes. I've done them for 50 years. So the paycheck has to be what that person's made before. Instead of giving this big paycheck and kind of screwing it up, because that gets them in trouble. Okay, the problem in nonprofit is getting that 234. They have to be responsible people. They have to be responsible. I love you. I'm glad you love classes. Responsible means simple. If their paycheck is what they received before, they didn't check it up, in other words, and they're basically okay. Now they're going to the city, they're getting actually improved, and the city's going to inspect what they do. They want the city to see if there's any buildings, land, or houses. I mean, you realize cities take back properties called tax bills all the time. They can position, they already have one position in the last year. In the last 50 years, we've got hundreds of properties like in San Pedro, Long Beach, other areas because the city took it back as a tax bill. They gave it to the nonprofit. Nonprofit turned it into a good thing. I mean, you got to realize in Long Beach and San Pedro for the last 20 years, they're actually redoing the whole city to make it beautiful again. That's what they're doing. So positioning makes sense. So you have to understand something. If you today want a paycheck, what paycheck do you want? But then I have to make sure your paycheck is offset by your taxes. My paycheck cannot equal more than I actually break even point. In other words, if I make a paycheck of $100,000, okay, as long as I have a house payment, I'll actually recycle my money, get it back in my tax return. If I want a paycheck of $1 million, that's ridiculous. No one should ever have a paycheck for $1 million. Okay. There's ways for you. I'm not talking about the rich and famous. Okay. I'm sorry. You're not going to be rich and famous. I don't believe you ever will be. But I believe you should take care of your family. You should structure, finance, and dream. That should be the goal. If I structure CFO for me, profit, nonprofit corporation, what do I got? I have to design my paycheck. My paycheck should equal my write off base. This system gave this client $234,000 of grant money. The system did. They followed the books, went to class. They followed the books, went to class. Here for 500 bucks, you could follow the same books and get up to 234,000 of grant money if you had the books. No, book 12 is nonprofit. But again, instead of scrolling the internet, go we all the way home, structure goes finance and dream. I want you to understand my goal is not to make you rich. Let your corporation be rich, be a puppet master. Let have a nonprofit offset taxes. That makes sense. You get a paycheck, offset your taxes. Makes sense. You break even. That's the IRS rules and tools. But again, if you don't get something like that, there's your problem. Now it's like today. I would tell you to call this number to opt out to protect your family. You had to protect you. 888-567-8688. If I have my utility bills, okay? You're a millionaire. I created my first $1 million when I was 15. Why didn't you, Raymond? 15. Okay, I control millions and billions, but it's not my money. I don't want it to be my money. Okay, so again, the difference is choice. Because when you're on top of the game, you can position anything you want. So it's like anything else. You have the choice. Should your corporation be worth millions and billions? Yes. Should you have profit, nonprofit? Yes. Should you get a paycheck to break even? Yes. We live in an estate. The front yard of our estate is over an acre and a half. My wife has her zoo, but we break even. We break even. We have everything we want, everything. So if you listen and learn, you can structure yourself today. Utility bill, all right, and credit cards should be automatic payment, paperless. Immediately you should call this number to opt out for 5 years. See, Bill, Raymond, George, Susie, you're not protecting your family. You're amateurs. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you're not doing what needs to be done. You might be making money, but the difference is it's up and down like a yo-yo. Your life is up and down. Whoa, we good. Yeah, bad. Stop it. Well, would you not want steady and strong? Would you not want a paycheck that pays your bills and you're okay, and you invest in everything else? Would you not want to build a legacy for your family? A real legacy, not just probate that your family left you and you're leaving your kids too. I'm sorry, you're doing it all wrong, every one of you. You don't have your structure. You got your paycheck, you're barely surviving, you make a lot of money, and then you don't. Then you up and down. If you looked at yourself as a CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and quit scrolling the internet, and you look at your profit company and your nonprofit, you can position yourself to get the paycheck you desire. I haven't had one in 40 years. I don't need one because I became a corporate billionaire structure at 21 years old. Billion, you understand with a B, 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 B? But it's up to you. I mean, it's like anything else, so we do things. All right. When I invented Car Finder, I was 12 and a half years old. I wrote my first patent at 12 and a half years old. Why didn't you? When I wrote this, I was 15. 15. I'll show you one that's not backwards. It's called winning the game of business. 15 with $1 million in the bank. So my goal for 50 years to help people is structure. Corporation, profit, nonprofit, get a paycheck, offset your taxes, break even, and be in control of your life. You're not in control of your life. You're playing howdy doody. You all over the place. It's ridiculous. You could opt out today for 5 years or a lifetime by making one phone call. Then you're not on the dark web. Then you could actually make sure you make extra payments on your credit cards. So it's called fast pay, quick pay. In 1977, Ray Reynolds helped set up the system. I came up with the fluctuation rule of 29%. Did I know they're going to take every example I had? No. But they did. TRW became a Spear in 96. All right. The oldest credit card. Stickies in the back of the card. Dummy proof it. Because we're all a bunch of dummies. I have to look at a credit card. I can't take it past 29%. I have to be responsible. I mean, you're 35 to 75 years old. It's about time you get responsible. It's about time you structure it right because you structure terrible. I mean, every one of you brought the pain home so many times you never had to. You brought the pain home, gentlemen. So many times your wife's going, hey, is this gonna work? You've scared the crap out of your wife, that queen that you love so much, or you do everything for her. You brought her scared to death because your structure sucks. Sticky. These don't fluctuate. They don't want fluctuate. These are my cards. There's my wife's cards. We have an 846 credit report because we're CFOs, personal business, and what we do. We don't jack it up, screw it up like you. I'm sorry, we don't do that. Why do you do it? I do know. It's not ridiculous. 846. Very simple. We maintain at least the debt on all cards at 10% at all times, so we get more credit. If I paid off every week like some of these so-called coaches that bought my books, it's ridiculous. No. We're going to maintain that 10% minimum, 15 as an average. See, every one of you need 100,000 of personal credit. 100,000. You know what that means? See, if the rules, understand, it's very common sense. If we use common sense, okay? If the rules are what I set up in 77, and we look at it basically simple, all right? We have 100,000 of credit. We have 100,000, no problem. Now, since these do not fluctuate here, and these do, that 100,000, understand, please listen to my words. That gives you 71,000 of safety. 71,000 of safety credit, 71,000 of safety. We all lose jobs. We all have problems. And no matter what happens, no matter what I had my 3.7 billion in 2009, I die in a coma, and they steal my goods, I rebuild it anyway. Fight to get it back. But if I have safety, I take care of my family. I'm sorry, every one of you, you blow it. I don't get it. Why do you bring the pain home? Your lack of knowledge. Why don't you have structure? I don't know. Why do you listen to circus people out there? I don't get it. If you have 100,000 of credit and you have a blanket blank day, month, or year, what do you do? What do you do? You have 71,000 of safety. You took care of your family. Isn't that your job? As a man, are you supposed to be the husband, father, and what? The man, husband, father. What are you supposed to be? Come on, are you going to act like one? It's about time. I don't get it. You bring the pain home because you're doing a half blanket bank job. Amateur hours over. You met the guy that created billions of dollars. I created 60 billion for my clients and myself over the last 50 years because I can. I know how to do this. So it's about time you look at structure, finance, and dream. If you don't, it's on you. Your biggest problem is you. You're trying to be rich and stop it. You want to be an entrepreneur. Hey, only 1% actually make it to entrepreneurs. I mean, you got to realize, you got these people teaching about social media. Great. If today you listen to me, I'm going to get you the paycheck you want, and I'm going to teach you how to offset your taxes. That's the bottom line. Offset your taxes. Paycheck is going to be recycled off house payment. Write down recycle house payment. Come on. Okay, you opt out for 5 years. You see, you're all trying to do something that didn't exist. You're all trying to reinvent the wheel. It makes no sense. Why would you want your LLC to do business when it's never done that before? Again, you named it after you. That's called silly. Okay, you name what it does. That's silly too. And you actually do business. That's silly three. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not going to make it. How many times have you brought the pain home? How many times? Please tell me the truth. You brought the pain home 8 to 10 times in your lifetime. You've had money and you wasted it. You kind of screwed it up. Money is a leverage tool. Leverage reference 3 times 5. If you're not creating a paycheck, your problem is you're not going to make it. My clients got $234,000 of grant money last week. The average when they buy the Millionaires Founders Kit, average grant is 55,000 to 100,000 of grant money. But it's also getting what's called voucher money on a monthly base. Until you're serious about what you want to do, it's all a bunch of hooey. See, your problem is going to be you all the way. You keep scrolling through the internet all the way home. You cannot take a corporation, LLC, LLP, C Corp, nonprofit, PC, and run business as your parent company. It's never been done before. It's never been done before. Never. Rich and famous people own companies. Don't you realize until you own companies for profit and nonprofit and you're a CFO correctly, you're not going to make it? I'm sorry, you're going to die broke. Every one of you. You're going to basically what, barely get by? You're going to think about your 401k, which is a joke. Every time the stock market goes up and down, what's your heartbeat doing? Stop it. Don't you want to be in control of your finance? Don't you want financial freedom? I mean, control. Understand something. You can control everything you're trying to do today, control it. If you just structure, all right, your CFO, personal life, husband and wife, we became one. My wife and I became one 21 years ago. It's God, family, money. God, family. It hasn't changed. It's God, it's family, it's money. It's what it is. God, family, money. But you're too busy scrolling, not paying attention. All the things out there and all the videos and all the blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm going to teach you how to do it my way for 50 years. I'm online 6 days a week and I have classes on Saturday, which I've given for free for 50 years. And your problem is you never show up or you don't show up enough time to hear it through here again and again and again. Structure builds finance and dreams. Take your LLC today. All right. I had it, I have 18 divisions. Divisions are under that as a management company. LLC is management. If I make money, I'm going to convert it to S. The S corporation is the one that the IRS does not screw with. It doesn't screw with at all. S corp. LLC, they go after them all the time. Okay, audit all the time. or LLP, nonprofit PC. Okay, so I have my S corp. I get a paycheck. I don't have to worry about that 15.3% blah hooey tax. What do? I get a paycheck. My house payment offsets my taxes. I get my money back. I get my money back. I don't have to worry about tax because you complain about tax because you don't know how you're doing it. You don't know how what you're doing. You complain about tax all the time because you don't want to pay it, but you agreed to pay it out of your paycheck. You or mommy did. You or mommy agreed to pay the damn tax. You did that. Mommy did that. So pay your tax, recycle your paycheck, get your money back. That's how it works. Instead of listening to all these silly people online, well, what do? See, 97% fail. Only 1% of the 3% are make it. The rest fall down. You have hurt your family so many times, it's ridiculous. Why do you do that? Why do you hurt your family? Why do you bring the pain home? Your structure's terrible. You don't have a structure. You're playing amateur hour. How about you and I talk to each other one on one? How about you and I, we design your blueprint? I do it for you. I'll design your blueprint for you and tell you exactly what to do next. And I have no hooey to give you. I'll help you design everything you want. You tell me what you want, I'll design it for you. I got no hesitation at all. I've been studying law and accounting since I could walk. I love accounting. I love knowledge. I love school. I love learning because it's the law. That's just me. I love law and accounting because I want to make sure I break even with the IRS. I don't have a problem like you. I don't get it. Why do you bring the pain home? It just infuriates the hell out of me. There's no reason to bring the pain home ever, ever, ever. You structure, you don't have one. It's hooey time. I don't get it. If you could just focus and be honest with yourself, honest with yourself. In other words, today, men, all right, 80% of you right now watching me are men. Men, quit screwing up. Quit bringing the pain home. Structure, finance, and dream. Write it down. Write it down. It's about time you man up. It's about time to realize you're responsible for your family. God created us to be the man, the father, the husband. We're in charge. We're in charge of our financial future. We are in charge. But God give you the tools and rules to listen and pay attention, but you don't pay attention. You're so busy scrolling the internet. You all the way home. I don't get it. I don't understand why you do things you do. I think it's terrible if you did something correctly. There's a blueprint. Take a picture. There's your blueprint. Profit, nonprofit, 18 divisions, $100,000 for the corporation, offsetting taxes, and you and your wife protecting yourselves. There's your blueprint. If you could focus, you could get to the point you're the $1 million dream if you want to be. But your problem is you're not structuring. You don't structure. I don't get it. I don't understand. I do not understand why you do what you do. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense at all. I don't understand why you bring the pain home when you don't have to. The problem should have been a division. The problem should have been a division, not you and your family. You rolled the dice and you brought the pain home, gentlemen. You did it all the time. All right, women are more methodical than men. They always have been. That's how God created us. But again, women screw up too. Structure, finance, and dream. If I have a CFO for me personally, CFO, okay? I'm a chief financial officer for my family, okay? Chief financial officer. Okay, there's a blueprint. If you ever got the guts to really pay attention versus scrolling the internet and you paid attention to me, I'll get you past go. Your problem is you don't have a blueprint. You have no blueprint at all. You're all doing things that seat of the pants. I mean, I don't get this. I will not understand why you do what you do. It makes no sense to me. I've been teaching and preaching for 50 years. Where the blank have you been? My workshops have been on Saturday for 50 years. All right, I'm the original coach. I coach Carlton Cheats people. Dave Delgado, Russ Dobby. I was the coaches of the coaches. I train Yarborough at TRW, set up the system that you use today. All right, and they measure you by what? 29% rules and tools. You're not paying attention. The guy in front of you that created 60 billion of credit in his lifetime for his clients himself could help the same thing for you if you had structure, finance, and dream. No structure, no finance, no dream. Your problem is you. Your problem is you just, I don't get it. Sometimes I just want to scream at the top of this hill on this planet today and say, what are you trying to do? I don't get it. Why are you trying to do it your way? Because your way doesn't work. Your way doesn't work. Maybe you pay your bills, maybe, but you have the same rerun. You're having the same rerun every day. Every day is a rerun. Why? Why do you have a rerun? I don't get it. Your rerun, and I'm saying it's terrible. I don't understand reruns. I don't understand reruns at all. Okay? So if you took the time today and you created a blueprint, a real blueprint, not this phony crap, not the phony crap out there today that you do today. Scrolling to the internet, be all the way home. No, 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 stop. First of all, we have to look at family. God, family, money. Okay? Past, present, future. Past, present, future. We must look at past. Do we have a bankruptcy? Did you seal the record? First of all, you probably didn't need to file bankruptcy. People file bankruptcy because they went to a bankruptcy attorney. He or she sold them a bankruptcy. Sorry, I stutter once in a while. That's what happens. So you've bought a bankruptcy and you ruined your life even more. You didn't solve a problem. You made it worse. It stopped what? The garnishment or the house loss? Okay, maybe. But in most cases, it did not. Again, bankruptcy. 7, 11, and 13. What is it? Is it, cities have a bankruptcy called Chapter 9. Farms have Chapter 12. So if we understand, cities plan the problem. You didn't plan the problem. I would tell every one of you to plan the problem. Plan the problem. You didn't do that. It came home, you knocked yourself down, you went to your wife, ooh. It's like, man, we're not supposed to be wimps. We're supposed to be men. We're supposed to man up. We have to take care of the family. That's our job. Husband, wife, what? We got to be the husband, the man, the father. We have to be what we're supposed to be. Your structure is terrible. That structure is terrible. I don't get it. You don't have one. If I had a phone call with you for an hour, I'm going to design your goal list. I'm going to design your goal list for you. I'm going to redesign you my way because I don't like your way. I think your way is terrible. That's just me. I'm going to redesign this because it makes sense as we play this game. All right, play the game. Let me understand. I call it winning the game of business. As a kid, I called that for credit, all the pieces, because to me it's a game. I had to turn it into a game. Why? Because I'm motivated. I like to win a game. Okay, so did you mess up Chase from our Express? Need to know that. Do you have a family? Do you have husband, wife, dog, cat, and fish? Do you have kids? Corporation. Corporation. What do we have? We have an LLC, LLP, C Corp, nonprofit, PC. You should have profit and nonprofit working in conjunction. You should have divisions. Divisions give you the line of defense. And you should have irrevocable trust. Car should be division. House is escrow, close, homestead, trust. How you design it the right way in the first place. Escrow, close, homestead, trust. You should think about irrevocable trust. Auto income, cash flow, fee per time. When I wrote this when I was 15 years old, yes, it's backwards. I'll show you when it's not. When it's not backwards is right there. Okay. When I wrote that, I was 15 years old. 15. Had $1 million in the bank, driving a Lamborghini Countach. Why didn't you? I didn't go to high school. I was at West Coast College. Why did you not listen back then and even now? I don't get it. Why do you? I'm sorry. I don't like what you do. Okay. I think you should basically structure. You should have a blueprint call with me because I can repackage your life. Here's the structure. Come on. Let's understand something. Okay. Here are the 6 categories. The 6 categories you could pay attention without scrolling to the internet and go, we all the way home. I don't get it. You scroll the internet, it's ridiculous. Why do you do that? Okay. Why don't we slow it down a little bit? Let's write it down. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what's going on because this hasn't changed for a minute. Okay. Everyone can still hear me, right? Okay. No. Okay. I want to make sure it's still working. Okay. Jay, if you can hear me and everything's working, let me know. It's yes, J. All right, Kim, please saying that too. And also Kim, or just type yes, please. Because I haven't seen anything move for a minute, and that's usually not normal. So can you type yes, please? Somebody type yes. All right. Over here, we're working yes, no problem. Over here, I don't know. Again, am I talking to myself? That's the goal. I don't want to talk to myself. I want to talk to you. I got no yeses scrolling, okay? So again, there's nothing saying yes. Why? Okay, all right, well, differences. So D1 top 80%, whatever that means. I don't have no idea. Okay, so I can get a yes from Jay. I can't get a yes from anybody or Kim or even Mindy or whatever. Okay. So again, it's not, I don't know if it's working. Okay. TikTok dropped. Okay. TikTok doesn't seem to be working. You might have to restart TikTok. Okay, this again, as long as I get everyone else working, that's fine. Let's restart this. Okay. Again, what do we do? So again, that's why I get asked, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Thank you. All right, working on, no problem. Well, again, structure and finance and dream, what does that really mean? We have to understand something. Okay. We have to understand the structure of finance and the dream because that's what it is. We have no choice. But again, if we do this correctly, we could design our paycheck. Okay. We could design our paycheck. That's the goal. It should be design your paycheck. Okay. I think that's the most important thing we all do step by step. Design a paycheck. Okay. Checking this on this side here. Okay. Paycheck. What does that really mean? Our paycheck should be our lifestyle. Okay. All right. Let's understand what it means. Paycheck should be lifestyle. If I want a lifestyle, you design it. If you design your lifestyle, you can design your paycheck. And that's what the goal should always be, is a paycheck. But again, I think what you should focus on today is very simple as we play this game to win. The goal is to win the game. So let's focus again and again. Let's understand this, what it means, okay? The blueprint of success, okay? What is a blueprint of success, okay? You have to understand a blueprint, what that means. If you design your life, okay? We would design a blueprint so you get your paycheck. Your paycheck's coming from your job. It's coming from profit or nonprofit corporation, a paycheck. So if we do this correctly, a paycheck. What paycheck do you want today? What paycheck would you like? So understand what this means, okay? I could design my paycheck. I've created millions and billions of dollars. So what? Big deal. I did that for clients and myself over the years. I've incorporated some presidents. So what? Rich and famous people all the time, incorporate them. What do we get to do? If we stop scrolling through the internet and go wee all the way home, we can structure ourselves the right way. What does this mean? Structure. All I know today, if you took the time to look at an LLC, took the time, you took the time of LLC, limited liability company, a limited liability company fed off basically sole proprietor. Sole proprietor became LLC. The moment it did that, it had a 15.3% employment tax. And that's what it does. Okay. That's why these silly people say, have your kids work there, blah, blah, all that stuff. To me, it's silly. Why would I want to do silly when I want to build foundation and dream? See, men, we have to have our paycheck. The biggest problem you have with you, every one of you, is you don't design your paycheck. You don't design your dreams and your life. Without a blueprint, you're not going to make it. You will not make it without a blueprint. You have 6 categories. Pick one. The LLC, you named it after you. You named it after you. You did that. You did that. You named it what it does. It actually does business. That's a mistake. No rich and famous person ever allowed their parent company to do business. They own companies. They own companies. The LLP, limited partnership. C Corp, nonprofit. Nonprofit. CS Corp. PC. Okay, if today, I mean, literally, every one of you today, if you wanted to, you could design a paycheck for the lifestyle you've always wanted. You could stop scrolling through the internet and pay attention to me. I'll teach you how to do everything step by step. But again, you have to focus. Do you want a paycheck? Yes. Do we need a paycheck? Yes. Is our paycheck taxed before we get the money? Yes. We gave the IRS permission. You did or mommy did. Someone gave permission to tax our paycheck. So we get our paycheck. When it's taxed, we get our leftover. Okay, how do we get the money back? So we get the leftover on the paycheck. Your house payment for 24 years is interest only. You recycle your money, you get your paycheck back. You get it back. If I have profit corp, nonprofit PC, I have to understand something. As it says here, C corp. I'm going to try to convince every one of you to take your LLC or your C corp that's double taxed and turn it to S for a paycheck. I want it to be an S corporation for paycheck. I want you to have a nonprofit. Client got $234,000 last week on a nonprofit. It's grant money. They got $234,000. 2 of those are one-time grants. The other one's an ongoing grant. If they structure the corporation right, and this is where I tell people, please be careful. Please be careful. You see, one of them didn't have a job. So they could work for the nonprofit. They could do that and get a paycheck. Paycheck should be what they were making. Paycheck should be what they're making. Okay. They shouldn't want a bigger paycheck. I got 234,000 in the bank. No, stop. You don't want to screw up like Minnesota or California did in this hospice stuff. Okay. Nonprofit has the ability to get you a paycheck if you need a paycheck. If you don't, get your paycheck from your job or your corporation, have 18 divisions. See, the problem you have today is we still have to understand we're CFO. We have to be CFO for personal life and corporation, but that's if you have nonprofit, that's triple CFO. I have to be a CFO for my family, my friends, whatever. I got to be that for the corporation, profit, and nonprofit. If I don't do this correctly, I'm going to make a mistake, which all of you have done. Congratulations. Every one of you have brought the pain home. I don't understand why. Why did you bring the pain home? You didn't structure. Corporations and legal persons, right there, chapter 18. I learned this when I was 7.5 years old. Did I know what I was doing? Heck no. Did I learn? Yes. Did I study law and accounting my whole life? Yes. Why? Because I want to make sure, because numbers make sense to me. People lie, numbers don't. I've always said numbers don't lie, only people do. So it's choice. Profit, non-profit. If we're a CFO, for instance, today, if I was to repackage you, I would want to put you in a wrapper rescore. How do I make my score go up, and away? I need a wrapper rescore. Look online today. Wrapper rescore was created by me in the 70s and 80s. Wrapper rescore they use in a mortgage today, mortgage companies. A wrapper rescore will block your bad credit, push your score up. That's what it does. That's what it does. Now you reposition yourself. If your debt to ratio is bad, which most of it is for all of you, you have to understand and rebalance your debt. If your score went up, you get more credit to rebalance your debt. More credit rebalances debt. It'll take credit to balance your debt you have today. Credit. So I'd like to take my histories for you if you want, if it's going to be up to you. Okay. I have over 1,200 cards I can play with you if you want. Live cards. I don't believe in trade line crap. To me, I believe in real credit. So what happens is I can help build you, and I'll say like Humpty Dumpty. Let's build your credit up, or your personal credit to 100,000. Let's get you 100,000 of personal credit, okay? Because that'll help you do one thing: have 71,000 of safety. Safety. See, you men, 80% of your men, and you brought the pain home 10 times, if not that, if more. You were supposed to be the father, the husband, and the man, and you brought the pain home. You should have never did that in the first place. If everyone has a what, 100,000 of personal credit, 100,000, that gives us safety 71,000. We need 71,000 of safety credit. No matter what we do, we need that. Without that, we don't get to do what we want to do. So it's like today. In the office, call the office later today. For $1,500, they'll repackage your credit, rebuild you, wrap a rescore, and they'll hand you 5,000 of credit for $1,500. During my live here, I give it away for $500 because I can give it away anytime I want to. I'm the founder of the company. It's a giveaway. But again, it's going to be up to you if you want to do that as well. Repackage you. If I was to blueprint you, you and I on the phone, a call with me at the office is $2,000. So for $2,000, you and I are going to spend an hour on the phone with your partner of life, and we're going to repackage you. I'm going to design your goals for you. I'm going to give you a goal list, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to do. I don't give you chances. I don't say you can do this. No. I've been a bossy person for 50 years for my clients. I will tell you exactly what needs to be done exactly, and you need to do what I tell you to do. I'll create your goal list for you and tell you the next step. If you're ever getting a coaching program with me, I'm going to work with you every 4 weeks to boss you around some more. I make millionaires and billionaires every day, millionaires and billionaires. So I want your corporation to be worth millions. I want you basically profit offsetting the taxes. I want you to get a paycheck to break even. Break even, that's the goal, breaking even. But again, the office charges 4,000 for this package here. I give away for $1,000. See, it's going to be up to you. Okay. So what I made an agreement with our specialists is if I sell something on a broadcast, they will help take over the next step. But again, you can just wait to them. They'll charge you the 4,000. It's not a problem. What do we do? All right. So you take a picture. This is how we take compensation. This is my personal email as well. And this is what you do. And there's a phone number to the office. So what is our goal today? Let's think. If you had a LLC today, I'd tell you to have 18 divisions. Why 18? That's 9 lines of credit. 9 lines of credit. That's 9 locations. That equals 100,000 a month income to the corporation. 100,000. Now you're going to decide your paycheck. Your paycheck should be what? It's going to be taxed because I like your LLC to become an S corp, but I want you to pay tax. I want your house paying to recycle and get your money back on your tax return. You see, structure builds finance and dream. I don't want you to be rich. I want your corporation to be rich, if that's okay with you. Take a picture. If you ever in this planet Earth, all right, we got 50 years plus whatever our lives, maybe 60, maybe more. You men have messed up so many times, it's ridiculous. You brought the pain home because you don't have the structure and the finance and the dream. It is our jobs as men that God created us. God found me money. All right, family became my wife and I became one at 21 years ago. It is my job as a father, a husband, and a man to take care of family. That's my job. That's my job. Okay. What's that phone number again? I'm sure Mindy will put it there or somebody else will. It's 800-254-9506. It's also right here on the bottom. So take your picture. Take your picture. If you ever, I mean, I'll guarantee my results for you. How's that? I'll guarantee exactly what you can do. But I want you to stop scrolling the internet and doing hooey. Understand something. Today, you should have a paycheck that you design, offset by your house payment and break even. Break even. Every one of you should design that because that's your job. Your job is to understand exactly what you need to do. You've all been guessing, you've had reruns your whole life, and you go all the way home. I'd like you to stop the we all the way home. I'd like you to have this. I'd like you to understand this is actually, you request this. This is a mouse pad. It's in the link below. I'd like to send you and I'll pay for the whole thing for you out of my pocket for you. See, I've created 39 million millionaire clients in the last 50 years. But it's actually by 2009. I've helped over 50 million people. But I want you to break even. I want your paycheck to be recycled from your house payment. This one's backward, the one on screen's not. I like to send this to you. I'll spend my money for you. I'll invest in you. I'll spend my money out of my pocket for you because if you're serious enough, I'll change your life. If you're serious enough, it's right there. So if I take myself serious enough as a CFO, a chief financial officer, understand, I have to, this is how it works, people. I'm going to give you all I got to give you, what I create my millions and billions of dollars. I'm going to show you exactly what needs to be done. If you pay attention, I'll get you there. I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee that you'll be able to get a paycheck offset by your house payment, break even, and create millions and billions of dollars if you do what you're told to do. Because your way so far hasn't worked. I'm sorry, has not worked. Your way is like amateur. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm sorry. I think your biggest problem is your lack of knowledge. And I think you scroll the internet listening to a bunch of silly people. Today, I will build you up to 100,000 of personal credit. I want you to have that. I want you to have 100,000 of personal credit for a reason. That gives you 71,000 of safety for your family. It is my job as a father, husband, and a man to take care of my family. I must have, all right, 100,000 of personal credit. I need 71,000 of safety because when we have a bad day, we have to buy time. It's time, money, and credit. If I have $100,000 of credit, I buy 71,000 and what? It's 71,000 of safety. I don't hurt my family. See, we all go through bad times, bad moments in life, okay? We all do. It doesn't matter if you create millions of billions like I have. I became a corporate billionaire at 21 years old, structured that way. 2.6 billion at 26. Okay. 3.7 billion when I died in a coma in 2009. And I'm the guy that's verifiable because you can find the yachts in the backyard and the mansions. Again, when I created all my books, I've written 67 books so far. That's me, the highest kick on the planet, because I'm very disciplined, and that was 1981. 21 cars in the car collection, mansions and yachts all the time, because that's what you should do for you. I did it for me, but I don't write off my haircut. I don't write off my Rolex, because that's BS. I don't write off what? The chef at home? The wedding? That's just crap. I want you to build long term. I want you to build long term. Your problem, you're not doing that right now. You're trying to be an entrepreneur. No, 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 no. You want to get rich. No, 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 no. Restructure. This is you. You take your LLC today, and we have 18 divisions. 18 divisions create up to 100,000 a month to the corporation. Every division is entitled, because I designed these divisions, an Amex card. Yeah, these are backwards, these are not. Okay, Amex. These are what's called paid overtime limit. Paid overtime limit 100,000. Okay. The only way you could do that is you verify income, 30 transactions, and 100,000 in and out of the bank account. There's a lot of phonies out there, these phony coaches going hooey, hooey, hooey. They're full of doo doo. American Express will put you through a financial review when you spend $20,000 plus on an American Express card. If your credit score goes down, they'll shrink or close your account. American Express doesn't forgive you, they sue you if you don't pay them back. So you have choices. They're good cards, but they're dangerous cards because people screw up. Now, personally, they don't fluctuate. You see, these cards fluctuate, have a utilization problem. These do not. So if you do this correctly, 100,000 of personal credit would make sense. 71,000 of safety. We have to stop scrolling through the internet and pay attention because you have a choice today. Your choice is to be a CFO, personal life, husband, wife, cat, dog, and a fish. Men, you men have to realize God is first. Family, husband and wife became one. Take care of family. You have to take care of family. That's your job. You got to man up, be that husband, be that father, and be the man you're supposed to be. You brought the pain home 10 times so far. You did. Stop it. You didn't have your structure and finance training. Just be real with yourself. You're by yourself right now. You can be real with yourself. Be real. Don't be phony. Don't be pretend on this. You're trying to pretend you're all tough. We all have to pretend we're tough. But if we structure this correctly, we win. This is a profit corporation, 18 divisions, $100,000 a month. Every division, the way I designed it in 84, creates income. Every division has its own credit file. I have 6 beautiful kids, 5 girls and a boy. They have their own credit score of 800 score. I have my score. My wife has her score. We became one under God's eyes, but we do have separate credit. We're not silly enough to hurt each other. Got it so far? We're going to plan the problem. Write it down. We're going to plan the problem. So if you did this correctly today, you would actually structure your life right. Please take a picture of this. Could you imagine if you just listen and do what you're told to do? But you're a man, you don't want to be told to. You don't want to be told to, ladies. You don't want to be in charge, okay? But if you listen very carefully today, Amex cards invite you into 250s. What would you do with a line of credit for $250,000? What would you do with a line of credit for $250,000? If I take my profit corporation, my 18 divisions, $100,000 of income, I get a paycheck, I break even. If I take my nonprofit, like a client just got their 234,000, nonprofit, $234,000 of grant money. Two are in grants for one time, one is an ongoing grant. Nonprofit gave the ability to the wife to go get her job at the nonprofit to pay what she paid herself as well. That's nonprofit. So again, grant money was 234,000. Any nonprofit can get the exemption if they want the exemption, if you structure right. Why do you want a nonprofit? Offset taxes in the private company. Why do rich and famous people have nonprofit foundations next to their profit? Because that's how it works. It all says taxes. If I help you get a nonprofit organization, you get grant money. Make sure you're careful. If you need to replace a paycheck, you do that. You don't even get the paycheck. If you don't need the money, let the nonprofit create money and do good things. Let your profit company start creating 100,000 a month. Why would you want 250,000? What would you do with it? What would you do with $250,000 line of credit? What would you do with it? You see, here's our problem. Okay, the problem. This is all right. Chase in cards. There's 300,000 in my hand. 300,000. What would you do with 300,000 on credit cards? Credit cards build score to get more. Credit cards build what? Score to get more. Credit cards. They do not do basically credit cards, do not do escrows. Lines of credit do. So if you got, understand something, if you obtained a $250,000 line of credit, blueprint loan at American Express today, what would you do with it? I would tell you to put something in an escrow. I would try to convince you to buy a Wendy's restaurant. I would try to convince you to buy a Jack in the Box, a storage unit, laundromat, car wash. I bought my first Jack in the Box when I was 19 through corporation, 19. I realized back then it's an auto income. What did I do? I wrote the books on laundromat and car washes 50 years ago, 40 some years ago. Got clients, you need a line of car. No, you don't. You need to understand something. Your goal is to understand for you to create a paycheck. I want you to stop the scrolling crap today, blah, blah, blah. Focus. Your goal is a paycheck for long term paycheck. Your goal is to feel okay, feel okay. Your bills are paid. You have leftover. You've done it right. You have your foundation for your dream. You have your foundation for your dream. See, the problem, you don't have what you want. You're all disappointed because you have the same reruns. I've had everything I want since I was a kid. I created my first $1 million when I was 15 years old. It's not possible, but I did. I wrote Car Finder when I was 12 and a half years old. I wrote a patent. I got a check for $1 million. They basically give me a percentage of that Car Finder forever. Do you realize Car Finder became GPS? You don't get it, do you? I have created so many things over my lifetime that have money. It's not hard to do. It's easy. Structure builds finance and dream. You're so busy wanting to scroll and be a rich and famous and entrepreneur, you didn't feel a function. Foundation dream. My favorite number is 8. Race cars, motorcycles, yachts, okay, race boats. I was born on the 8th. That's why I use 8. It's 5 closet divisions and 3 what? Divisions of me. I don't bring the pain home, people. Would you please stop doing that? Would you please allow me to change your life? Change your life. Would you allow me to change your life? If I got you a loan for $250,000 today, I don't want you to use it to run your business. I'm sorry, I don't want that. I want you to take that and do 4 different what installment loans. I want you to turn it into an escrow. I want you to have an escrow. I want you to have long term and legacy. I've been building long term and legacy for 50 years for people. When I helped Elias come to California, edible arrangements, you ever heard of that before? I made him a billionaire. I've helped every rich and famous person you can think of. I've incorporated presidents of the United States of America. I've sold more corporations on this planet or given away to anybody on this planet times 10 times 10. So I'm offering my services to help you and my knowledge to structure what you want. If you quit just scrolling and go, we all the way home. If I got you 250 today, 250,000, what would you do with it? Again, what would you do? I want you to write down, I will put in an escrow in place. I will have my 18 divisions. I will have one of the divisions in an escrow buying a storage unit, a laundromat, a car wash, or dry cleaners. I'll buy a Wendy's restaurant. I'll buy something. Okay. Again, right now, my services are free. You can do all this yourself. I'll teach you how to do that too. I've always said, you do, we do, I do. You do it all, I'll teach you how. We do it together, I'll help you. Okay. Or basically, I'll do all the work for you. Now, to get a blueprint loan from American Express off of a card, you need 30 transactions, 30 what transactions monthly. You need $100,000 income, 100,000 from the bank account in the business. So the business must create 100,000 of income in and out, in and out, in and out. That's what the business has to create. Okay. If you don't have it, this is where I come into place. Okay. If you don't have the safety credit, I have 1,200 cards here alone. Okay. So what does this mean? I'm a real affiliate. Okay. Creditors. This means if I have to repackage your personal credit and show you how, I will do that. Okay. I will turn around with my 1,200 cards right here. If I don't drop them on the ground, right here, 1,200 cards. I will put a card on your file for you from me. I will use my live credit card to give you credit history to pop you a card of your own card if you need cards to be popped. Again, I'll do that for every one of you. I've done it for 50 years. If you want live cash cards, we do that too. See, what happens is very simple. You need help. Okay. You need real help, not a bunch of hooey, crewy stuff. Okay. Structure, finance, and dream. Guess what? Come on. Here's your future. If you allow me to help you, I will show you how to create 100,000 a month, 18 divisions. I invented division process. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1984, I had a problem. My problem in 84 is I own Shakey's Pizzas, 11 of those. Subways, shopping centers, condos. But also in 84, I'm the king of satellite television. What is satellite television? These big ugly antennas. I manufacture, distribution, retail, and installation. I'm doing $100 million there. I got a problem in 84. I got this letter from the IRS. No, I got this letter from the state of California. They said I have to pay a franchise tax fee for every corporation. So I had all that you have. I had my LLCs, my C corps, and nonprofit PCs, and all this other things, and PCs and S corps, all those pieces. So I have all the structure. There's 6 structures. Okay, they want me to pay franchise tax fee. The franchise tax fee is $1,000 in California for every corporation. So if I have 5 LLCs, I got to pay 5,000 for a piece of paper. All corporations are in the link below for free, 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 free. See, you don't get it so far. I'm going to help you with everything I can. You decide what you want to do with you. I think men, you have a problem. You bring the pain home all the time. Thank you for the loves. It's like you got to stop it. I'm a man. I'm a father, and I'm a husband. I don't want to be a husband. A man who gets a divorce is a husband because he pissed her off or hurt the family. What happens in marriage is because of money and finance. Sex and money screws up marriage. It always has, always will. Money, honey. What do we do? Come on. So I didn't want to pay $1.2 million franchise tax fee. Did not want to do that. So what did I do? I went to Sacramento, California. Sacramento, California. That's what I did. I asked a basic question to 2 departments. Could I create an entity under my LLCs, my C corps, my nonprofit PCs, and what I have, and don't have to pay franchise tax fee? Can I create an entity? An entity. An entity. Listen to the words entity. Please remember entity. Please remember entity. Write down entity. Can I create an entity? Listen to the word entity. Come on, I need you to hear it again and again. Entity. A division became an entity. I have 6 beautiful kids, 5 girls and a boy. They have their own credit files. Divisions got their own credit files. Divisions have their own what credit file. If I have an LLC turn it to S, I want that. C is double tax. I want it to be S as well. I'm going to convince every one of you to get the paycheck of your desire. I'm going to convince every one of you to get a paycheck and let your house payment offset your taxes, get your money back. I'm going to teach you how to do tax balancing the right way in the first place because you hear all the silly things online going da 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 da. So please listen. My client does this. They have 18 divisions. Also, the wife, she got laid off from her job 2 months ago. We did nonprofit. A nonprofit corporation, they got $234,000 of grant money. This is why I say be careful. A nonprofit offsets taxes, yes, but when you get $234,000 in the bank, be careful. She can go work for the nonprofit to replace her paycheck, but she can't get a big paycheck. She has to do exactly what? See, this is where people get in trouble. In the Minnesota and the California, the crap, they do grants and they do, what, child care crap. Now understand, what happens in California or in your state, she can get a paycheck from the nonprofit. It was exactly what she got paid. All right? Tell me what to do. Then I want you to call the office and do other things. Just pay attention. Understand? Her paycheck must be exactly what she got paid at the job. If she jacks it up, she's in trouble. She's going to screw this all up. 234,000 in the bank now. Okay, that's nonprofit. She got a paycheck. I've got her going to the city, and the city has properties. They're doing auctions all the time. Cities, they have land, they have building, they have houses. As a nonprofit recognized company, as a nonprofit organization, okay, what happens? Very simple. The city has what? Properties they're going to give to the nonprofit if it's actually verifiable. And what does it do? The city will actually inspect the property and you can turn it into something for long term. So this is what I want you to think about long term. I don't want you to be rich. I don't want you to be the entrepreneur. I want you to get a paycheck. I want you to design your lifestyle for paycheck. Can you do that for me? Paycheck. As a man, I have to take care of my family. Now, I created my first $1 million structure as a kid. Okay, that was me. Car finder, $1 million in the check. Okay, Orange Coast College at 14, not going to high school. High school was a waste of my damn time. But education, I love education. I love law and county. So I've been studying law and county since I could walk. So I want you to get a paycheck. Is that okay? We get a paycheck. please, please get your paycheck, pay your bills, take care of your family, man up, take care of the family, be the man, be the father, be the ball, all right, be what? The husband. Bills are paid. We're okay, we're okay. The moment you're okay, gentlemen, and your wife's going, hey, this is good, this is good. Oh, this is good. Now what happens? What you've done in the past, she's going, ah, yeah, yeah. Ah. Most of you men have freaked out your wives. You've stressed them out because you didn't have your finance and your dream put in place. You screwed this up. I'm sorry you screwed it up. If you would do profit corporation with 18 divisions, I guarantee you'll change your life. I'll guarantee it in writing. I'll guarantee you'll create $100,000 income to your corporation and you can get your paycheck. You're not rich, the corporation's rich. You're not rich, corporation's rich. You get a paycheck. Your paycheck is going to be your lifestyle. I want you today to think about what does it cost to pay our bills? What does it cost to pay our personal bills right now? Right now. Sorry, it's scrolling pretty fast, trying to answer questions as it goes. What does it take to pay our bills? There's your paycheck. House payment gives you your money back on the tax. You got tax in your paycheck because you gave permission for the SS5 or mommy did. What does it mean? It's very simple. You gave permission. They tax your paycheck. Okay, you got the leftover, you tax everything, you turn around. If you have a house payment for 24 years, it's interest back to your paycheck. You get your money back. Your paycheck should be a lifestyle. Let's write it down. Lifestyle's paycheck, paycheck's lifestyle. I want you to take care of family first. Please understand. God found me money. God found me money. If you do this right, you don't bring the pain home ever, 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 ever. There's no reason to bring the pain home. If you did this correctly, and every Amex card is entitled to a blueprint loan, right here. Okay, well, what do we do? Take your picture. I guarantee every one of you, if you do what I tell you to do, you could get a paycheck to take care of your family in the next 12 months the right way. You will never look back. You will have structure the rest of your life, structure, finance, and dream. You will not play the up and down show ever again, ever. I'm saying ever, ever, ever. All right. Rich and famous people do not let their parent companies do business. They own companies. You're going to own companies. This here is a blueprint. This here is your foundation for profit corporation. This is finding peace of mind, peace of mind, peace of mind. Auto income. You should have owned that Jack in the Box you drove by, the storage unit, the laundromat, the car wash. This is what I've done my whole life, my whole life. Okay, so understand. I bought my first Jack in the Box to a corporation when I was 19 years old. Why didn't you? So I want you to focus today. And I want every one of you to focus on one thing: paycheck. What paycheck do I need to pay my bills? What paycheck? I want you to stop trying to be an entrepreneur and go crazy because only 1%, if they're lucky, get to be an entrepreneur. That's it, 1%. So what happens? 12 months. How long you said it can be less. It depends on you. How soon can I get you to listen? There's your 100, there's your 250. If you want 250,000, I'd say please write down this. Please write this down. If I get 250,000, I'll put something in escrow. If I get 250,000, I'll put something in escrow. Write it down. If I get 250,000, I will put something in escrow. I will buy the storage unit. I'll buy the laundry. I'll buy the dry cleaner. I'll buy a necessity business. I will do auto income. I'll do auto income. Write it down. Come on, people. This is your goal. If your organization, again, has income, you get a paycheck. Your problem is you have no foundation. Now, to get a 250, you must have 30 transactions on your corporation monthly. You must have 100,000 in and out of the bank account, no problem. That's all right. If you have it, fantastic. If not, I'll teach you to build it up to that. I will teach you to build it up to that. If you do not, okay? If you ever get into coaching and when you're serious, okay? If you're ever serious and you quit scrolling, okay, and you pay attention, I'm going to help you rebuild your life to paycheck. I'm going to give you everything it takes to get to where you want to go. My clients in coaching programs, if they don't have that, by the time I'm positioned in their profit, nonprofit 18 divisions and income, okay, we can use the credit cards to go get, no, credit cards are not to get into an escrow. Lines of credit are. You have two types of lines of credit. Let's write it down. I can line you up, listen carefully, line you up that your bank will give you up to 150. Line you up for 150. So there's 150,000 line of credit. You can write a check into escrow, write a check to escrow, write a check to escrow. That's what you do. If I got a loan. Now, if I have to position an American Express, all right, blueprint loan, I allow my clients to use my petty cash accounts. if they're in basically coaching programs, I allow them to use an account called a petty cash account. This allows me with you as to be one of your CFOs. I will become a CFO for your organization if you allow me to, for banking and credit purposes only. Banking credit purposes only. Understand? Please understand this, please. Okay. This is 55,000 on the one petty cash. Here's 270. Here's 71. Okay. So for my clients, when they get stuck, I get them unstuck. I always have, always will. So I want you to stop this scrolling crap and get a paycheck. I want you to design your life as paycheck. You got to realize paycheck. Your paycheck offsets your house payment. You have the right and responsibility as a man to man up, husband, father, what? Man. We have to take care of the family. I believe you've been having the same rerun your whole life, and I believe you did not design your paycheck. You wanted the American dream. I help my clients with my petty cash account on a monthly basis. Here's 396. Petty cash usually has about 5 million in the savings. Okay. So I can always position anybody to solve their problems. You understand that? Solving problems. So when somebody gets into something, you take a picture of this. Today, a blueprint call with me is $1,000. Office is two. Very simple. If you want me to do a wrap and rescore and rebuild your credit, it's $500. Office is 1,500. Let's do this again. If you ever need a phone call with me, I make sure I'm available. For instance, last week, a client's panicking. They had an accident in one of their locations. Listen to my words. Listen to my words, please. They had an accident in one of the locations. All right, write down one location. They had an accident. What? Location. Okay, and location. Okay, no problem. Now they're panicking. They email me Wednesday night, and they say they're going to file bankruptcy the next morning. I call them and say, "What? Stop! What are you doing?" We had an accident. Someone got stitches at the location, and I talked to our attorneys, and he says to file a Chapter 11 bankruptcy to protect us. He said, what? See, this is where you're not listening. You're just scrolling to the internet. You're not paying attention. I want you to plan the problem. I want you to plan the problem. You don't get this yet, do you? Plan the problem. The question is, he said, well, we're going to file bankruptcy tomorrow morning. I said, no, you're not. The wife's going, ah! I said, ah! Stop. Understand something, okay? Please. Banks bankrupt 22,000 last year, 22,000 locations. So all your banks together, 22,000 locations were bankrupt last year. Cities file bankruptcy, grocery stores do. The reality is divisions. Let's go back. Come on. I need you to pay attention. I need you to understand something. That's a division. That's a what? A division. A division. I had to go, what are you doing, people? What are you doing? Well, they told us to file bankruptcy Chapter 11 tomorrow morning. We're going to sign the paperwork. They said they want to list all our debts and assets. I go, why? I said, repeat it to me again. We had an accident in one of our locations. Say it again. We had an accident at our location. I made him say it 3 damn times. We had an accident in one of our locations. Yeah, say it again. All right, get your act together. See, their location can disconnect, isolate, incorporate, bankrupt a piece. Why would you ever bankrupt you when you don't have to? I don't understand. I do not understand why you're not paying attention. You're scrolling the internet. What's the only way home? If I'm a man, I have to take care of the family. That's my job. I have to make sure my wife's spoiled. She's my queen. My wife's front yard's an acre and a half. She is spoiled rotten. She always has been. I make sure of that. Okay, I make sure of that. But I create first million at 15, first billion structure 21. I have no problem. I have no BS to give you besides the truth. It's about time you let BS stop it. BS doesn't pay your bills. Internet, most of it's BS. It's crap. It's crap. You actually follow through the crap hole. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would you ever bring the pain on when you never had to? I made him repeat it more times. Okay. Where's your wedding ring? Why did somebody bring that up? Simple. You see these fingers? Okay. See these fingers? See how they're screwed up? So I have to tell you what happened. As a kid, I went through the window. He slammed the door through it. I can't wear a ring. So guess what? My fingers are all screwed up. So thank you for wanting me to explain myself to you, which I don't have to, but I will let you know that. I had a wedding ring once, the one I loved. I had to sell it. 2009, I was in a damn coma. Came out of coma. I took my wedding ring. The only one that actually I didn't feel it was just hurting my finger. One of the Rolexes and a necklace. I had to hawk it. No, I had to sell it. My family was homeless again, 2009, if you don't look it online. But again, so I don't wear a wedding ring because I can't seem to find one that doesn't make my fingers screw up. So that's what it is. So again, all right, thanks for bringing that up because I really love to feel the pain again and again. That's so the one that meant something to me. Thank you, appreciate that. So let's go back to this structure. Structure, finance, in the dream. Structure. So what do? If I want a 250 loan, I must have Amex be in good standings. I must have 100,000 a monthly base income to the corporation. I must show 30 transactions, and I let my clients. I get to help them all the stuff as well. What happened in '86 to satellite? Well, satellite got scrambled. We sold it off to the government. Simple. All right. Why would we keep satellite when it got scrambled? I mean, 84, that was simple. In 86, they scrambled all the satellites and we got to actually sell it to our government. The government bought all the things we had. Still made money on it. That's how we did it. So what do you do now? So again, what we do. So if we use a line of credit or a bank account, we can verify blueprint loan. So when my client gets stuck, I have ways to unstick anybody if they truly want to do something. But that's how it works. So guess what? As we do all these things. So the difference as you structure this is very simple. So the 396. 396 is what we help people do things all the time. And that's the goal. So if you're missing pieces, we can help you with the pieces you're missing. But again, you can do this yourself if you want to. I always, always, always show people how to do it themselves. My system for 50 years is you do, we do, I do. That's how it works. I want to make sure you understand how to get through the process and you don't bring the pain home. As a father, I take care of my 6 kids, my 13 grandkids. I make sure my wife's happy and spoiled because that's the ultimate goal for all of us. So we have choices today, but it's going to be up to you. Your goal has always been up to you as you do this process for you. So understand something. As we structure this, I want you to think about today, paycheck. If my client got 234,000 last week for grants, they did. One of those is a grant on a monthly base, and then 2 of those grants were just instant one-time grants. You can look at grants for profit, nonprofit, but I want to position profit, all right, offsetting taxes. Let the nonprofit do that. It makes sense. If we structure correctly, all right, and then like I told the client, please be careful. What happens with the nonprofit? They got 234. Okay, all right, one, 2 grants instant, and one is going to be monthly grant. She can get a paycheck. Then she lost her job. I said, if you go get a paycheck, work for the nonprofit, you have to be the administrator anyway. Make sure your paycheck's exactly what your write-off was. Please make sure your paycheck, you didn't jack it up. So that would be the goal. Do not jack up the credit, the paycheck. See, some people get a grant. I want to get a raise. No, stop, stop, stop. Your goal is to position yourself as a nonprofit, profit, and you family. So I would position everyone like I've done for 50 years. When I incorporated 3 presidents in the United States of America, I'm the largest registered agent in the world, by the way, largest registered agent in the world. That's what it is. So what happens? Very simple. All right, I've sold more corporations than anybody in this planet are giving away for free. In the link below, you get all the articles you want, no matter what. And if you go to class, I'll teach you how to use your corporation the right way. But it's up to you. They're free. Why would someone like you spend thousands of dollars because you didn't know any better? I don't understand. You spend thousands of dollars for a corporation or a piece of paper when they're free in the first place. You didn't learn daily squat. If we structure correctly, we can build the structure and the finance and the dream. So again, what happens is this is a way you can basically, if you get some discounts today, if you do it online with me, it's up to you as well. Call the office. It's listed price. Let's say refresh, rebuild your credit, rapper rescore, we hand you 5,000 in credit. The office sells it for $1,500. Today it's $500 and it's online with me. If you wanted me to do a blueprint call with you for an hour with your partner of life, the office sells that for 2. I give it away for 1. But I also hand you $10,000 of credit. If you need a phone call with me, like I did for my client last week, they're panicking. And I made him repeat themselves, it seemed like a dozen times. They kept saying division. They finally, okay, hey, oh, well, that's a stop. I said, you said one of your locations had a problem. someone had stitches, they got hurt, no problem. So basically, how does the long take to get credit? Well, it depends how long you put into it. Okay, average is 90 days, but again, it's going to be up to you. You might drag your feet. So what do we do? Understand? I finally got him to slow down, calm down. The wife is freaking out. He's freaking out. See, every time you have a problem, you freak out. Every time you jack up your credit, that's why you need 100,000 of personal credit, 71,000 of safety. Safety credit is how you protect your family every day of the week, but it's going to be up to you as well. So again, they finally, okay, so we're going to call the attorney. We're going to cancel the bankruptcy and say, forget you. What are you doing? See, their division had a problem. Listen very carefully. Their division had a problem. Their location had a problem. Banks bankrupt 22,000 locations last year. They stayed in business, did they not? Cities bankrupt. They stayed in business, did they not? Stores do bankruptcy too, the location of a store. So if you listen very carefully, that division had a problem. The division disconnect, isolate, incorporate the division. That's what they did. Okay. Now they haven't got a lawsuit yet. The employee has not sued. Has not sued. So we did what? We disconnected, isolate, incorporate the problem in case it happens. We plan the problem. We plan the problem. If it happens, that division now as a corporation can file a bankruptcy and get rid of the lawsuit. Again, that's what they get to do. Knowing how to structure yourself, finance, and dream, bankruptcy would hurt the whole corporation, all their pieces. They have profit, not profit. They're making money, doing good. They got a paycheck. They can jeopardize their house. Their house is worth $3 million. No, why would they do that? So again, structure. So if you need phone calls, sometimes you call the office, you get a calling card. I've had calling cards for 50 years. Calling cards very simple. So that way you can get a hold of me if you have to. And I get up basically every morning at 1:15 in the morning. Okay, I'm online now 21 weeks from TikTok and social media. And the reality is you have an emergency, let me know. Simple. You have a calling card. Believe me, I'll call you. I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the morning. This is what happens with me. I'm not here to be safe an attorney, but here's what happens. The client last week that had the problem with that location, the client last week that got to $234,000 of grant money used the Blueprint of Success. They've used the Millionaires Founders Kit. So this is what they have. They have the rules and tools. They didn't go to class without the books. That's the goal for you as well. Go to class with books. I've written 67 books so far. Number 12 in the Millionaires Founders Kit is nonprofit. That shows you how to structure nonprofit grant money if you want. They got 234,000 last week. But they also use the other books to get what? Their profit corporation work in conjunction. They also use the personal credit books to get what? Their personal credit back to an 750 score. See what happens, you understand something. I've written 67 books so far. I have 40 literally being done right now, being edited. I write books all the time. I wrote books on laundromats, car wash, and dry cleaners years ago because that's what it should be. You should own it, not run it. I get clients, you need to do that. No, no, no. Let's be the investor. Okay. So if today you understand something, every Tuesday, Ontario, every Wednesday, Bonaventure, every Thursday, so Ontario, so Tuesdays was Orange County, every Saturday, Long Beach Marriott. I won the award for being the second largest advertiser in California for 32 years in a row. I sold that for 5,000 a set. Okay. The office sells it for about $1,000. If you did it today while you're online with me, that gives you the foundation for nonprofit, profit, and you bringing your score back to 750. Then I just put you in a bunch of classes and do most work for you anyway. Books give you the foundation of nonprofit. So book 12 is nonprofit. So this is what I tell you if you want the nonprofit, 234 grant money as they did. The average grant's right now about 55,000 to 100,000, but this can be on a monthly base. Again, grant money. It's up to you as well as we structure this. So understand. So I would tell you in the link below, get the Millionaires Founders Kit today. Very simple because what happens is going to give you the structure. Get to the classes with me. Now, again, if you want your credit score to go up, you need a rapid rescore. If you look in the 70s and 77, 70 and 70, 80, what happens? I created the oldest credit card when I'm training Yorobro, utilization process, okay, fluctuation, 21%. And then from there, what's called a rapid rescore. Look at it as well. A rapid rescore brings your score up. It kind of actually blocks crappy credit too. These don't fluctuate, these do. So if you have 100,000 in personal credit, that would be the goal, 100,000. That gives you safety credit of 71,000 in case blank hits the fan. That's your ultimate goal as well. So if you wanted to wrap or rescore, the office charges $1,000 to $1,500, go for it. When I do it for $500, it's a giveaway, and I give you 5,000 of credit. And the paralegals rebuild you as an extra bonus. But I do that online. And if it's not done now, then you just call the office later on. You just pay more. That's how it works. If you wanted a blueprint call with me, and I set up your goal list for you, I tell you what you're going to do. Very simple. An hour on the phone, you and your partner of life. I'm going to do a blueprint call with you for $1,000. The office charges too. And then from there, sell this package here for about $4,000. If you did it through me, I give you 10,000 of credit as well. I give you 10 times the cash back to you. You invest, it's better than being in Vegas, but it's up to you as well. Again, wait till later on, call the office, not a problem. They will charge you the four. You not say, well, Ray said this. No, no, no. I said flat out, if you did it during a webinar with Dr. Reynolds, Ray Reynolds, hey you, Pastor Reynolds, me, it's $1,000, 10,000 back. You don't do it now. The reality is you do it at the office, they will charge you $4,000. If you want to make some extra money, if someone said, I don't have enough money, do small. Build, 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 build. Have no excuses. That's what people have, excuses all the time. You build structure, finance, and dream. We become an affiliate, refer people. Referrals make up to 20%. It's ridiculous. So there's no excuse. Okay. There's no excuse at all. You get to play the game and win. That's how it works. Simple. If you play the game to win. Now, my coaching programs are I have group coaching with 4 people. I have coaching with my junior and senior coaches. I also do private coaching. On my calendar, I have 12 months available, 3 months. That's it. And I'm pretty well booked for right now. So again, that's going to be up to you what you do. This is the way we get dollars all the time, no problem at all, as we play the game to win. Our ultimate goal is very simple today. If we want to play the game, we get to win the structure. Structure builds finance and dream. Once again, because some people were late, it's very simple. This is Ray Reynolds, and this is basically called the Blueprint Live. That's what it is, our show. Been on TikTok now 21 weeks. 21 weeks helping people structure. Been writing checks for millions and millions of dollars, all right, for over 50 years. All right, because it's easy being radio and TV. This is new to me. I do watch a lot of silly things I don't like. It makes no sense, all this bad information out there, but it's how it works. Today, you could actually restructure yourself if you wanted to. What I'm going to tell you flat out. This is education, contact only, not legal, tax, or financial advice. Results may vary. Why? Because I don't know how far you're going to go. Your problem with you, every one of you, you allowed the IRS to tax your paycheck. You allowed this. Okay, is it 10,000? No, it's cash credit back to you. Okay, I'm going to build you 10,000 in credit cards. How many would you like? How many would you like? You want some Chase? Okay. You want some Amex? All right. You want some other types of cards? You let me know. I'm an affiliate. I like 10 cards. Cash, real cash. Okay. But again, all right, again, it depends on you. No one gives back 10 times their money back on any program on this world besides me. I've done it for 50 years. See, I want to make sure you understand something. We're not full of doo-doo. Unfortunately, most things are. But you scroll through the internet and go, wee, wee, all the way home. Wee, 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 all the way home. Today, men, you have to be the father you're supposed to be, the husband, and the man. What does that mean? You're a great father. You're a great husband. Okay? But you keep bringing the pain home. You bring the pain home because you don't have the structure, the finance, and the dream. You don't realize your paycheck is taxed because you gave him permission. You or mommy did, somebody did. The IRS has a form called SS5 on every one of us. The SS5 allows them to tax our paycheck. We gave permission. So when we file an SSN, we have our 1040 tax return. Paychecks are taxed today because you or mommy gave permission to do that. In the beginning, you gave permission. Nobody did besides you. So don't complain that they take tax out of your paycheck. Complain you're just not doing it right. Simple as you do this. Commercial, no problem in package for all your packages. Well, again, as you structure this, again, I have 37 packages, so there's a lot more than that. So when you file your tax return, Please understand something. Okay. Your paycheck, it should be offset by your house payment. See, you did not design the structure for paycheck. You want to be an entrepreneur? Fantastic. Only 1% ever make that. 97% of business fail. 1% become an entrepreneur. And they're like rich and famous. They don't say rich and famous ever. You know that. They go broke. Structure builds finance and dream. If I design my paycheck and I get my money back, listen very carefully. Job is paycheck, profit paycheck, nonprofit paycheck. Where's your paycheck coming from? Your paycheck back to you should be recycled from your house payment. House payment. You don't get this yet. No one teaches you the truth out there. They don't teach you the truth. Okay, I'm sorry, they don't. I watch all this circus stuff. I mean, I don't like it. All right. 50 years helping people understand this. Paycheck. Your paycheck's taxed. You have a house payment versus a lease payment. You're making you're not someone else rich. That house payment recycles the money back to you for the tax return. Tax return. You got your money back what your paycheck was. So in other words, they tax my check. I have a house payment for 24 years. It's interest only, and I get my paycheck back when I file my tax return. I break even. That's called tax balancing. No one explains that way because you don't pay attention anyway, and you're scrolling through the internet going wee wee all the way home. You might want to think about paying attention. The office number, you talk to a specialist, they're going to ask you 10 questions. 800-254-9506. They'll be here in about an hour. Very simple. We have 5:24 in the morning, 5:24, 5:25. Okay? I can't write off the Rolex. If you ever watch my show enough, you'll find out I have a Rolex that matches almost every shirt I have. And I drive the car that matches as well, usually too. The car, the watch, and the shirt match. Because it's a bunch of hooey, all this crap out there. I created a corporate billionaire status when I was 21. Why didn't you? I understand. Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why don't you have foundation for paycheck be offset by your house payment? I don't know. You should have profit corp and nonprofit working in conjunction and take care of your family because that's why you're the man of the house. Ladies, you can do the same thing as well, but it's up to you. So again, paycheck. If you have bad credit, let us rebuild it for you. We'll rebuild it for you. We don't do credit repair. We don't have any magic wands. If you want to do it yourself, there's winning the credit game. There's basically how to start out right. It's simple. All my books, I've written 67 books. You'd always see in the back and the past. That's me because I'm disciplined. That's 13 feet in the air, kicking out the damn light. One of the Lamborghinis in the car collection, and one of the yachts, one of the mansions. Why not? See, the reality today is I'm not full of doo-doo, but I will put you in check. I will get you to the point you stop scrolling and the blah, 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 and pay attention. Your problem is you. Line of credit at the bank, 150s. Write a check to escrow, own a Wendy's restaurant, a Jack in the Box, knock off the crap, create an income, get a paycheck, offset your taxes. Your biggest problem's been you the whole time. No one teaches you what you should do for you as a man or a husband or wife, what you need to do for you as you play this game. I'm going to tell you flat out, okay? I want to rebuild your credit, rapid rescore, because I created this system in the first place. I'm Ray Reynolds, Dr. Reynolds. Hey, you, Pastor Reynolds. And then 77, I'm the one who created the oldest card in the fluctuation rule of 29%. They don't fluctuate, these do. 100,000 personal credit from now on. Safety. That's what you're going to have. That gives you 71,000 safety to protect your family when you have a blank day, month, or year. See, you have not structured finance and dream. None of you have. I'm sorry. What you've done is a bunch of hooey, in my opinion. If you want nonprofit to get you the 234,000 in grant money, this is what they used. They used my classes and me, and they got 234,000 in grant money last week. 2 of their instant grants. One is an ongoing grant every week, every month. She lost her job. Now she's going to work for the nonprofit. What did I tell her? Please do not give yourself more of a paycheck than you were receiving. Don't give yourself a raise. That's the biggest dumb thing people do. I got money. No. That's not your money. The nonprofit has grant money coming in. Now you have your 18 divisions. You have a house. It's hospice. You have food delivery. You have basically Transportation Act. See, if you did it right in nonprofit in this system here, you'd have $100,000 of grant money per month. You have a paycheck from nonprofit or profit. However, you decide one paycheck only, and you offset your taxes. You build an empire and a legacy for your family, not all the crap you've done for yourself so far. All right, your thing, what you do is a bunch of hooey. So I tell you flat out, Every Tuesday, Ontario, excuse me, Orange County. Every Wednesday, Bonaventure, Los Angeles. Every Thursday, Ontario. Every Saturday, Long Beach, California. I won the award for being the second largest advertiser in California for 32 years in a row. See, I've been helping people for 50 years. It's about time you do what I tell you to do. If you want to get to that paycheck and offset your taxes and break even and get your corporation profit, not profit, doing millions and billions. My first corporation was Helping Hand Industries. I said, wait, $10. I was 9 years old. You don't get it, do you? Maybe someday you'll pay attention. If you opt out the phone number right now, opt out 888-567-8688. This allows you to opt out off the national mailing list. You're not being sold on the mailing list anymore. Your credit cards and your utility bills are automatic payment, paperless. You make an extra payment on your credit cards because it's fast pay, quick pay. I wrote that for TOW, became a Spirit in 96. You're trying to create something that doesn't exist. I got an LLC. You had five. It was fantastic. Why do you have five LLCs? You don't need it. But your LLC should be an S corp, in my opinion. When you make money, S corp. The S corporation is where the IRS can't give you crap. No one can give you crap under an S corp. You're creating a paycheck offset by your house payment. That's what you're doing. House payment offsets taxes. So your LLC becomes an S corp because I said so. Your C corp's double taxed. It becomes an S corp. I'm not here to be safe an attorney. But 97% of businesses fail. Only 1% make it if you're lucky. Again, what do? Structure builds finance and dreams. It always has, always will. Structure builds finance and dream. Simple. Here's a blueprint. I'd like to design one for you, customized over the phone with you. I'd like you to corporation have 18 divisions. I'd like you to decide what you want to do for you. Come on. I mean, this is just easy stuff. I love it. So what happens? 3 divisions equal 300,000 in credit, 30,000 a month. 600,000, 60,000 a month. 900,000, 100,000 a month. If you had the structure here and you had you and your family structured right my way, I'd show you the Lamborghini collection, the Ferraris, and all the mansions and the things we do. I'm the guy that had that U-Dock in Huntington Harbor with the big yacht, helicopter. Isn't that fun? Died in a coma in 2009. What happened? Got to come back and rebuild it again. I built what? I built $1 million credit in 6 weeks. See, I don't stay down. Why do you? Why do you bring the pain home? Why do you ever bring the pain home? I'd like to do a custom blueprint with you over the phone for an hour. The office sells for $2,000. Give him a call later today. If you did it for me right now, it's $1,000. But I'll hand you 10,000 in credit back to you. I always love the fact when they call the office and talk to a specialist. Well, Ray said then, he goes, yeah, let me play back what he said. He said, if you did it then, you're doing it now, forget it. Understand something, okay? It's very simple to do this. A blueprint call with me. We're going to go past, present, future. What's your past, your present, future? You screw up American Express Chase. What is your goal? You have a bankruptcy tax lien. Family. Husband, wife, dog, cat, and a fish. Corporation, LLC, 18 divisions. Divisions give you the line of defense, and that's the key thing to do it all as we do this correctly. Do you have an irrevocable trust yet? No, we'll get you one of those too. Do we have kids? We got to protect our kids, our family, our cars, division, house, escrow, close, homestead, trust. What do we do next? We have some more fun. All right, what do? We do auto income. And we look at cash flow fee per time. This year's backwards, that one's not. I wrote this when I was 15. Why didn't you? I wrote my first patent when I was 12 and a half years old, Car Finder. Sold it for $1 million, got a new licensing agreement back. Car Finder became part of GPS, if you don't know that. So guess what? See, I've been studying a lot of county since I was a kid. Born in a taxi, used and abused as a kid, it pissed me off. So what do? Blueprint. Here's your structure. I got an LLC. Fantastic. I'm glad you got an LLC. When they sue it, they sue you. Congratulations. I had an LP, C Corp, no, S Corp, nonprofit, PC. They sue it, they sue you. Congratulations. I think your way's terrible. If your LLC was converted to S, like I want it to be, with 18 divisions, you now create an income for life. You build a legacy. You knock off the crap. But it's up to you. LLC, S Corp, please. All right, C Corp, double tax, S Corp. What do we do? If you want me to rebuild your credit, $500, it's easy. I give you 5,000 back and put you in a robbery score for actually 90 days. Office sells $1,500, so call them later today, spend $1,500, or spend $500 now. It's up to you. Again, that's how it works. If you did a blueprint call with me, the office sells $2,000, no problem. All right, they're gonna do a blueprint call. They'll sell it for 2,000. You're stuck with me for an hour either way. If you did it doing one on one live now, it's $1,000. Then I hand you 10,000 credit back to you. That's 10,000, 10 times your money back, because why? All right, first of all, a C corp only real corporation structure. No. Tommy boy. All right, a C corporation's double tax. You converted to S under the IRS rules 1244. The IRS approves it to be an S corporation. Now you get a paycheck. All right, you basically offset your taxes and you do tax balancing. See, the lack of knowledge you're lacking. $1,000, 10,000 credit back. Rebuild you anyway, step by step. That's how I take payment. It's very simple. Not call the office, use a card. They'll charge you more. Correct. An LLC tax as an S corp. An LLC is not a corporation, sir. An LLC is a limited company fed off a sole proprietor. That's why he did that in the first place. Then they had a 15.3% tax. You turn it into S corp. Then you don't have to worry about that tax. You get to file one tax return. You and your family under that get a paycheck. You offset your taxes. It's ridiculous what you do. Sorry. Does credit, we do credit repair. All right. Does it come with blue? Hell no. Okay. I'm gonna rebuild you $500 to spend an hour on the phone with you. Hell, I'm 5,000 an hour and 50,000 a day for companies, all the time. Who do you think solved the problem for Mattel in the 70s and 80s? I did. Toll Brothers, IBM, Boeing. All right, Apple. All right, Disney. Okay, President of the United States of America. So no, it didn't come with a blueprint call. Hell no. Okay. I'm going to give it away to you, but I'm going to basically do for nothing. These people here in this company need to get a paycheck. I don't pull a paycheck. Haven't for 40 years. A division is a line of defense. A division line of defense. See, it's like your LLC should have divisions converted to S. I have to add history to a division to make it work. In 1987, I created the dashboard that allowed tax ID to be used for credit reports and credit cards. I'm the one who helped Ken Yarbrough set up the system. Oldest card, fluctuation. I called it granny money. They called it gifted money. And I came with rapid rescore in the 70s and 80s, and it works to this day. Block your cap, push your score up. Rapid rescore. Here's your future. If you'd stop scrolling, you pay attention for 5 seconds. I will teach you how to get your paycheck you desire, offset your taxes, repackage it the right way, and quit screwing up what you do today. You bring the pain home every day. Every one of you men, you screw up all the time. Sorry. You brought the pain home, your wife's going, ah! You freaked her out. This is your queen. You freaked out the queen? Are you? No. You freaked out the queen? Come on. This is so easy. It's ridiculous. Here's your LLC became S. 100,000 of credit. Each division, the way I designed it, each division. Come on. These are all Ray Reynolds University cards right here. Here's $1 million. How much would you like? Would you like $1 million? Or would you like 3? How much would you like? How much would you like? Come on. I got 1,200 cards here just to play with, just to show you I can do what I say I can do. Then we get basically checkbook money. We put some in an escrow. Your problem is you're trying to be an entrepreneur. Good for you. Good for you. Isn't that special? By the way, only 1% of you out of $1 million going to make it. I'm one at all. Well, the rally's going to be up to you what you would do, Kate. Come on. You take your LLC today, you convert it to S, you have 18 divisions. Each division is entitled to its own Amex card, its own card. These are 100,000 paid over time limit, simple to do, not hard at all. You multiply by divisions. In 1984, I invented division process. I did Ray Reynolds. I own my Shakey's Pizzas, 31 flavors, ice creams, and subways, and shopping centers, condos. But I'm also known as the king of satellite television. King of satellite television in 84. Manufacturer, distribution, retail stores, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And installation. $100 million company. They wanted me to pay a franchise tax fee. They said franchise tax fee. No. That's $1,000 per corporation then. No, that's $1 million too. Hell no. I designed division process. Nobody teaches it, but it's on every cash application right now. They don't understand it. Neither do you. Divisions are your line of defense. If the bank can bankrupt a location, you could have a division doing the same thing. No intent to defraud. If a grocery store can, so can you. If the city can, so can you. I designed it this way. Isn't it about time you learn how to play my way? Because I'm going to say your way. You know what I'm going to say? It stinks. Okay. So if your corporation has structure, this is peace of mind. Here's the goal. Every man, every woman, simple. I'm going to personally repackage you my way. I'm going to design your paycheck for you. I'm going to show you your house payment offset your paycheck. You're going to break even and build a legacy for your family. You're going to have profit corporation and nonprofit, and you're going to create millions and billions of dollars. And I'm going to guide you how to do it. And I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to repackage it my way because your way stinks. I can't say the word because they flag me every time I say the word. Okay, what do we do? Take your picture. Come on. Could you imagine today if you actually got serious to change your life and knock off the crap? Every man and every woman can have a paycheck you desire, offset by your house payment today, not next week. I mean, you don't have structure. You don't have structure. You have amateur hour. You have the same rerun every other day. I did yesterday, day before, and now. Stop it. Stop it. Profit, nonprofit, paycheck, CFO for you, corporation, and nonprofit. Guess what? Nobody's, of course, nobody's there. It's only 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So big dog 313, call when they're here. It's 5:40 in the morning. 5:40 in the morning. Come on. We're Pacific Standard Time. I'm up at 1:15 every day. See, I get my 3 hours sleep. This is all I ever had in my life. 3 to 4 hours sleep at the most. Ready to go. Your problem is you. Woo! That's about it. So call in an hour. Okay, they'll be here. So guess what? Understand something. This 250,000. What would you do with it? Please tell me what would you do with 250,000 line of credit? Come on, what would you do? What would you do? Come on. I want you to write down. All right, escrow. Now, escrow. If I got you 250,000 line of credit loan right here, and every Amex card gives you the ability to get a 250. Every one of these suckers, allow you an escrow. They allow you to get 250,000 per division. Per division. Damn, that's a lot of money. You'd have an escrow. The escrow you'd close. You'd want to buy a storage unit, laundromat, car wash, dry cleaner, or Wendy's restaurant, or Jack in the Box like I did. Hey, I've done this since '87. It's kind of fun. Okay. I don't want to put it all in escrow. I get the 250. Now they allow me to break it down in installment loans. I now become the bank. You must have $100,000 income per month and 30 transactions. Understand something? Please pay attention. If now this is now this, I love this stuff. Every division's on the same bank account. I love it. One bank account can verify 18 divisions of $100,000+ and have fun one account. So we can play the game the right way. So in other words, if we got one of these and we start recycling money, we get more loans, more things. We grant money all the time. So watch. Okay, that's a 250. If you don't have the 100,000 in a month, in and out, 30 transactions. For my clients in coaching programs, in some of the coaching programs, I allow them to use my petty cash accounts. My petty cash savings usually about 5 million, and then the checking really cycling money about 30 transactions. Actually, last month it was about 3,000. So here we have 55,000. We have 270 and 71. Here's all basically the petty cash account on the same damn company. Isn't that fun? So what do? That shows 396,000 just for them to help them get their blueprint loan when they're in a coaching program. So that's what. Yeah, if you refer people, you get up to 20%. That's how it works. So how many lines of credit would you like for 250? How many 250s would you like? Let's understand this. Very simple. These are credit cards built score to get more. Score to get more. Let's go back here. Come on. Let's understand. Focus right here. This is your future. Every one of you, if you paid attention, you're going to get a paycheck. Your paycheck's going to be given to you, taxed, S corporation taxed, and you're going to have your house payment recycled, give you money back on your tax return. Credit cards, all right, will basically be very simple. You don't use credit cards for escrows. For instance, this is a storage unit, Wendy's, car wash, apartment complex. If I have credit cards, I might use it for Bitcoin, gold, silver, stock trading. So again, if I use a credit card like the In card here for $50,000, Do you recommend setting up an S corp? You turn your corp into S, LLC into S, or C corp into S when you make money. Not until then. Okay. Now this is 50,000. If I bought Bitcoin today, if I lose, I get to offset the taxes. If I win, same thing happens. Either way, it's a fluctuation of tax offsetting up and down, up and down. You've been using your personal money to do that. Why would you do that? That's no sense. You'd use your own money to buy Bitcoin. I mean, what? I don't. It was tax. And you tax again. I don't get it. So, if I was to do buy gold, silver, stock trading, whatever, that's credit card. All right, American Express blueprint loans, okay, are what's called checkbook money. Checkbook money is going to be literally going to be put into an escrow. So that 250, as it shows you four types, that's four escrows. Now, what do? 18 divisions allow me to have different functions. What happens in most of your LLC says what it is, what it does, and you named it after you, and that's kind of silly. Makes no sense. LLC should always convert to S because that's what makes sense. Division process. Each division has a different function. Each division turns it into auto income, 100,000 a month through the corp. Your paycheck is going to be your lifestyle. Write down paycheck is lifestyle. Please write down paycheck's lifestyle. Let's get you to break even on your paycheck. Is that okay? Break even. That would make sense. Why would you want bigger paycheck? It's tax. Why would you do that? Let's break even. You can design your lifestyle based on your paycheck you need and how you want to live. You decide what house you want to live in. And let's drive some company cars. Make sense? If you need calls with me, I also sell calling cards. Like I could say my client last week for doing what? Filing a bankruptcy. They had a problem in a division and not the parent company. See, parent company should never do business. Now, the silliest thing is you not having books going to class. This is the Millionaires Founders Kit, the Blueprint of Success. Book 12 is all about nonprofit. That's how the client got their $234,000 last week of grant money. 2 instant grants is one is a monthly base. And they were taught how to structure this correctly. So they get city, state, and federal grant money all the time. So if you want this, you get this system that actually it's the Millionaires Founders Kit, Blueprint of Success, office sales for $1,000. I give it away for $500, $499. It's in the link below. If you buy it today, it's simple. If not, call the office and they will give you the normal price, $1,000. Do not call the office and say, well, Ray said this. No. They know exactly what I said. During the live, you get the pricing. If not, you call the office, they'll charge you normal pricing. If I'm rebuilding your credit and our paralegals are helping, our legal team helps you. Very simple. They're going to do that for 9 months, put you on track. We don't do repair. But I want to put you in a rapid rescore and push your score up to get more credit to reduce your debt to ratio. But I hand you 5,000 of credit back. 5 times, that's 10 times your investment in the first place. Again, how do we package you this right way? Office sell to $1,500. A blueprint call at least $2,000 at the office. You and I on the blueprint now, $1,000. Simple. I only have 2 openings for blueprints anyway. I sold most of them out on Saturday. So there's 2 openings for $1,000. You're in a blueprint call, an hour of my time with you and your partner of life. But I'm gonna hand you 10,000 in credit back to you. I want to build you more credit. Again, that's now. If you ever want to be an affiliate, you can do that too. It's in the link below. You can be an associate. You can refer people. You get up to 20%. That's how it works. So my coaching is group coaching. Professors do coaching, or I do coaching. I only have a position of 1 year left in the 3 months. That's it. I'm pretty well booked. That's how the fun is. So that's how I start payment on lives. Simple. There's an email address right there. There's me. There it is. There's the phone number of the office. Okay. Again, your choice is up to you as you structure this. So keep in mind one thing as we structure this right. Our goal is to have the dream, the finance, the dream. Our goal would always be one thing. I'm Ray Reynolds. All right, they nicknamed me the Godfather Credit. Very simple. And what you get to do is very simple as you play this game to win. I would tell you it's basically educational content only, not legal or tax or financial advice. Results may vary because of what you do for you. I'd tell you to call the office. Okay, there's the phone number 800-254-9506. It's right there. But do please call in about 45 minutes to an hour, please. No one's here yet. They won't be here till 6 o'clock. The first team comes in. It's only 5:41. You cannot write off the haircut. You cannot write off the Rolex or the wedding or the chef at home. That's a bunch of hooey. You got a bunch of silly people that say that all the time. I don't understand silly people. Okay. I've never seen so much BS in my life until I basically got on TikTok, all right, 21 weeks ago. So be careful, please. There's a lot of hooey out there. So the bottom line is up to you. I've got good credit in an LLC. Where do you recommend? Get into basically 18 divisions, turn it into auto income, get 100,000 a month, and from there get an MIM. That's what I would do, because what happens? All right, your LLC will become S corp in the near future because I said so. Okay, what does it recommend to setting up an S corp? S corp is only when your LLC or C corp starts to make money. Leave it alone until you make money. Okay, you never change it till then. It's a basically an IRS 1244 or 2553 form, and they'll convert your LLC, your S corporate or C corporation to an S corp. Allows you and the corp to file one tax return. That's the ultimate goal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had a lot of fun today. Okay, I would zell now. And I can't say that. I'm sorry. I can't say those words. Okay, you know what needs to be done. If you want to do it, call the office as well. All right, if you don't, I'm going to say you blew it. Okay, what state you are, or what state through right? Well, the bottom line is incorporate your own state. I mean, they announced 4 weeks ago they're going to go after anybody who's incorporating other states they're not in. You want to not it? Do Wyoming? That makes no sense. Okay, do your state till you get the profit zone, please. I'm the largest registered agent in the world anyway. So we're going to play my way. I don't like your way. We're going to do it my way. So do yourself a favor. Please, please, please call the office, or you know what to do to send dollars. You want discounted price on the live. All right. From there, we do our best. God does the rest. Amen to that too. Never forget the end of the day. God loves us all.